Check, check.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check.
Just like he's done so many years in the industry, just like spinning around, right? So we don't mind checking.
At the heart of Toyota Gazoo racing is the drive to push the limits for better. The passion to create exhilarating driving experiences for every car and every driver. With the latest addition to the GR lineup, we're putting the thrill of performance cars to the country's best-selling midsize SUV by bringing the racing experience right at your fingertips. Introducing the new Toyota Fortuner GRS, engineered to drive you towards a new peak of success while looking bolder and sportier than ever before. Bear the mark of a powerful leader with the iconic GR emblem. Underneath the striking exterior is a strong engine with race-like suspension to make sure you dominate every race in life. Cruise confidently with advanced driving functions while sitting comfortably in an elegantly designed interior. With great performance comes even greater safety features. Easily keep an eye on all areas around your car with the blind spot monitor. The rear cross traffic alert keeps watch while you safely back away from parking spaces. The downhill assist control manages your speed while descending. The Fortuner GRS also comes with Toyota Safety Sense technology for added driving assistance and security.
And of course,
Ensure every trip is an exhilarating drive and your every move a winning one. Harness the power to lead the race with the new Toyota Fortuner GRS.
it's normally last round to like a small wins.
Tignan mo ang iyong mga napagdaanan. Sa bawat pagbagsak, at araw-gabing pagsusumikap, nalagpasan mo lahat ng takot at pagdududa. Maniwala ka lang, dahil ang lakas ay likas sa puso at pagkatao mo. Ang mga pangarap ngayon ay abot kamay. Malayo na ang narating natin. Hindi na tayo pabibitin. Tuloy-tuloy tayong aangat.
The gold is yours!
Kasama ang Petron. Sa Petron, panalo ang Pilipino.
Unleash your racing spirit with the next addition to the Gazoo racing line. Designed to excite your heart with new styling that's bold and tough. Improved performance to awaken your off-road passions. Control and comfort designed for rough terrains. Racing features to inspire you to push past your limits. And race your unbreakable spirit. The new Toyota Hilux GRS.
joyride, a hit and run. I thought I loved you and you thought I was fun. I'm moving on down the road. Watch me as I go, watch me as I go. Should I look both ways before you cross me, baby? 'Cause I don't break for boys. I'm moving on. Both ways before you cross me, baby, 'cause I don't break for boys. I'm moving on, hey, got nothing left to say. Let's be on my way, best of luck. I'm moving on, I'm moving on.
At the heart of Toyota Gazoo Racing is the drive to push the limits for better. The passion to create exhilarating driving experiences for every car and every driver. With the latest addition to the GR lineup, we're putting the thrill of performance cars to the country's best-selling midsize SUV by bringing the racing experience right at your fingertips. Introducing the new Toyota Fortuner GRS, engineered to drive you towards a new peak of success while looking bolder and sportier than ever before. Bear the mark of a powerful leader with the iconic GR emblem. Underneath the striking exterior is a strong engine with race-like suspension to make sure you dominate every race in life. Cruise confidently with advanced driving functions while sitting comfortably in an elegantly designed interior. With great performance comes even greater safety features. Easily keep an eye on all areas around your car. With a blind spot monitor, the rear cross traffic alert keeps watch while you safely back away from parking spaces. The downhill assist control manages your speed while descending. The Fortuner GRS also comes with Toyota Safety Sense technology for added driving assistance and security. Ensure every trip is an exhilarating drive and your every move a winning one. Harness the power to lead the race with the new Toyota Fortuner GRS.
We have. Good morning. Welcome to Clark International Speedway for the third and final showdown of the season's longest-running premier racing series, the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022. Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022 is brought to you in cooperation with Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Petron XCS, fuel that knows you. Together with our other sponsors, Brembo, Denso, 3M, ABT, Rota, OMP, Tuazon Racing, My Toyota Wallet, and Kinto One. And now please welcome your hosts, James Deacon, Gabby De La Merced, and Pitmaster Judd Sully.
Yes, good morning everybody and welcome down to the Clark International Speedway for the 2022 Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup. This is the final round. I hope you're all excited. I'm excited. It all comes down to this. We're gonna find out who's gonna be a champion after a terrific season. Here are my co-hosts, Gab De La Merced and Judd as well. Start with you, Gab.
Everyone. Yes, it has been an exciting series. Guys, grabe. Yung second leg, it was start to finish. I was at the edge of my seat. Hindi ko alam kung anong mangyayari. If I had money to pay for that, grabe, nilabas ko na lahat.
I agree with you 100%, and we got a peek into the scores after, di ba, nung second leg natin. We'll update you guys on that later on, and boy, today is gonna be insane. It's also double the points for races 8 and 9 today, so ang dami pa mag-iba eh. And the great thing about the races here is that you can watch them live. Alam ko nag-enjoy kayo sa live stream, pero baka gusto nyo pa humambol dito sa Clark International Speedway. We will be more than happy to welcome you guys here, catch all the action, at marami pa kaming hinanda off the track na treats for everyone joining us here and to walk us through what else they can find here at the Clark International Speedway. Let's bring in our partner, Kuya Darbs.
Good morning, race fans! Welcome back to Clark International Speedway for the third and final leg of TGR Vios Cup 2022. Na-miss nyo ba kami? Kasi ako, sure ako, di kanya na-miss. Pero kami ni James, Gavin, Jot, and Kuya Darbs, miss na miss ka na namin. And of course, that's the reason why ini-invite namin kayo dito sa ating activity area wherein you can find our partners booth nandito. Ang Bridgestone. And of course, right there in the corner, makikita mo ang Petron treats kung gusto mo ng snacks, refreshment. And of course, our partners and friends din from Brembo is gonna be there. Tsaka, gusto mo ba ng pro tip? Gusto mo ng pro tip? Kita mo ba to? Itong passport na to. Punuin mo ng stamp yan. Pag napuno mo ng stamp yan, magkakajowa ka. Joke! Hindi! Much better pa sa jowa ang makukuha mo. Kasi magkakaroon ka ng exclusive TGR Vios Cup merchandise. Yung jowa, mahanap mo kung saan-saan lang yan eh. Yung merchandise, dito lang yan sa event na to. So please, go ahead and collect it right now. As you can see behind me then, this is where the conclusion of this year's race is gonna happen. And my friends, you're gonna see more of me later on all throughout the day at sana makasama ka sa aking Hugot Vlogs, ha? So sit back, relax, enjoy, chill, kasi magkikita-kits tayo later. Back to you guys!
Thank you very much, Kuya Darbs. And Kuya Darbs will be keeping us up to date with all the latest of what's happening within the crowd. He'll be getting pulse checks regularly. We'll be checking in with him time and time again. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to call on the racers. Here we go. Please welcome back on Clark International Speedway, the racers of Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022. Our racers will be driving up in just a bit. Come on, guys. We are going to introduce you to them one by one, including their teams, of course. And while they're making their way up here, as Jut mentioned, kanina, and it's absolutely true, and it's something we got to talk about, this is about as tight as a final round has ever become. We're talking about like top three. Let's just take one class. I think it's class. Sporting class, top three off the top of my head. First place, 75 points. Second place, 75 points. Third place, 74 points. I mean, there's nothing at all. So with double points up for grabs, anyone's game.
Anyone's game. And it's not just happening in sporting class.
No, it's not.
Super sporting, promotional, it's all like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
and this is the only time you'll see these cars not speeding through that track. That is the slowest we'll see them, but we just had to let them come in and introduce them to everyone watching us, joining us also here at the Clark International Speedway.
Kaya ngayon, madaling mapicturan. Kasi mamaya, once mabilis na yan, wala na yan eh.
Mamaya, pag-click mo, walang kotse sa picture sa bilis.
Medyo blurred siya. So now's the chance, guys, if you want to take photos or even, meet your favorite racers and give them a congratulations, now's the time.
Yes, and a lot of times people ask, people who are new to racing, they go, well, what is it? Why do we even have the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup? What's the point of it all? I mean, it's not like the people here in this country don't know what a Toyota Vios is, but I think it's about their commitment to just keep pushing the limit to make even better cars. And that's why Toyota have the best cars on planet Earth, is because they never rest on their laurel. Just because everyone knows them to be the best cars out there and the most reliable cars out there, they don't just sit there and go, well, yun na yan. No, what makes them the best cars out there is they're forever improving. And racing is a great way to do that.
Yes, exactly. It is in their DNA.
Yeah, Toyota, what they promise is they'll keep competing to bring the freedom and adventure and joy of driving to everyone. And that's why, some of the racers here, you see them progress, diba? We're talking about our friends in Dan Matsunaga, Fabio Ide. Talk about bringing the joy of driving. They used to drive in the promotional class. Look at where they are now. I'll tell you one thing, James. This is a sporting class that he said that's a top 3 belongs in one of those names yung binanggit natin.
Oi!
Okay, why don't we meet the racers? Because it's getting very hot out here, and it's just going to get even hotter. And I'm not just talking about the weather, we're talking about the competition as well. So, before we meet our racers, ladies and gentlemen, for the closing legs, opening remarks, we need you to give a Toyota Vios Cup welcome to Toyota Motor Philippines President, Mr. Atsuhiro Okamoto-san!
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final leg of 2022 Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup. I hope you are all as excited as I am to see who will come out on top as the champions. Toyota Motor Philippines has been bringing the thrill of racing to more Filipinos, and we would like to thank you all for being part of this mission. To everyone watching, whether on-site or online, let's cheer as our racers push their limits for better to the finish line. To our racers, good luck, have fun, and stay safe on the track. This exciting season will not be possible without our partners and our longtime supporters, Bridgestone and Petron. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Okamoto-san.
We would also like to thank Brembo, Denso, OMP, Trason Racing, AVT, 3M, Lota, My Toyota Wallet, and Kintwan for being part of Motorsports. We hope to see you again in the next season. Let the final showdown begin.
And the final showdown is about to begin. Thank you very much, Okamoto-san. I see you've got your Wakudoki shoes. I love them. So much fun. New ones. I love the colors. They're very bright. It sets the tone. It sets the mood for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup, which is about to happen in a few minutes' time. But you know, like any major sporting event, we need to start off with an oath of sportsmanship. And this will be led by none other than Assistant Vice President for Marketing Services Department, Mr. Elvin Luciano. Racers, if you would line up in front of Mr. Elvin Luciano so that you could participate in the sportsmanship.
Vios Cup racers, for the last time this season, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and agree to abide, adhere, and uphold all rules and regulations which has been set forth by the Automobile Association of the Philippines and the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup, to practice good and fair sportsmanship behavior, at all times. So help me God.
Thank you very much, Sir Elvin. And it is now time to meet the racers of the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022.
As we call your name, please step up. We start with our promotional class racers. From Toyota Team Cebu, car number 18, Jaron Messina. Also from Toyota Team Cebu, car number 69, Ian Rosales. From Alzona Racing Team and Toyota General Santos, car number 19, Alain Alzona. From TSJ Avengers Racing Team, car number 61, Julia de Los Angeles. From Toyota Team Cebu, car number 44, Alan Palacios. From Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippines, car number 5, Fabio Ide. Also from Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippines, car number 7, Daniel Matsunaga. Woo! From OTR Racing Team, car number 66, Jay Lau. From JBT and Toyota San Fernando, car number 36, Pong Garbes. From Edgeport Racing Team, car number 31, Paolo Ayo. And from LJ Planting Dreams, car number 96, Tony Gapu. We'll have a photo, ladies and gentlemen. This is your promotional class racers. Thank you so much to our promotional class.
All right, and we are off to our sporting class racers. And the first is Joaquin Garrido of 63 Toyota Otis Avengers Racing Team. Then we have Daryl Garbes, 76 JBT Racing Toyota San Fernando. Followed by Myla Olivia, 73 JBT Racing Team Toyota Isabela. And we have another Garbes, Giro Garbes, number 21 JBT Racing Toyota San Fernando. Now we have All Smiles, Troy Montero, number 6 Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippines. And at number 27, Roy Sarmiento, RMS Cars Racing Team. Miguel Quiñones, number 45, Toyota Balintawak Avengers Racing Team. Then we have Russell Cabrera, number 95, Toyota Team Cebu. Michael Kailani Jordan, number 23, Jordan Racing Team.
Michael Jordan, number 23.
Jordan Racing Team.
Love it.
Victory that. And we have some girl power over here. Elise Menorca, number 13, Toyota North EDSA Avengers Racing Team. And there you have it. This is the sporting class. So let's get that photo up. Time for
And
your
now that
pearly
we've met
whites.
our sporting class, it's time to move over to the super sporting class, and we kick off with car number 81 from JBT Racing Toyota Isabela, Red Diwa. Followed by Toyota Team Cebu, car number 43, Lord Seno. Moving on to Toyota North EDSA Avengers Racing Team, car number 33, and currently leading the championship, Inigo Anton. Leading but tied. It's very close. We've also got car number 99, our racing team, Gerard Loy. Car number 12, Toyota Marilao Avengers Racing Team, Daryl Taylor. We also have car number 41, Avengers Racing Team, Van Hanmart, John Dizon. And making up the grid, your final driver for the Super Sporting class, car number 55, our racing team, Brian Coe. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our Super Sporting class. These are the top shelf of the Vios Cup racers in terms of experience, and they are battling for the championship with two of them at 75 points apiece and one of them at 74.
It's gonna be a crazy day on the track today, especially in this class, but actually I'm thinking in all classes.
In all classes.
Every single class is going to be battling it out, ladies and gentlemen, and you've got a front row seat to all of the action as we bring it to you, whether it's right here at Clark International Speedway or through that camera into your living rooms, your devices, whatever you're watching on. We are going to make it as exciting as it is for us over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your Toyota Gazoo Racing Racers, and we'd like to invite our TMP, Toyota Motor Philippines executives, to please join our big family photo here.
Here we go. If we could assist the Toyota executives to where they're supposed to stand for the class photo.
All smiles
while
before we
we're-
get intense, right?
It's really gonna get intense. So while we're admiring these racers, let us do a quick recap of what happened yesterday. You know, this was all behind the scenes. So race 7 results for promotional class. At third was Elaine Alzona.
What's her name?
Second was Danielle Matsunaga, and the champion was Julius de los Angeles. Then naman for sporting class, we had third got Daryl Garbs, second Troy Montero, then the champion was Joaquin Garrido.
And in our Bridgestone promotional class, finishing third, or actually this is our super sporting class. Third was John Dizon, second was Inigo Anton, and our champion was Red Iwa.
And also just a little minor correction. Yes, Inigo Anton is leading the championship in the super sporting class, but at 99 points, not 75. 75 is for the sporting class. But get this, 99 points, and his nearest competitor in second place, 98.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great race here. Because like you said, James, we're gonna walk through the numbers even more later on because it's just so tight, the number of points that racers have with each other. And again, we emphasize the two races we're gonna have here today, we're gonna bring them to you live, double the points. So if you finish first, you get 40 points.
Yes, so you can imagine with 99 points for the leader after an entire season, you can imagine what 40 points is like, the value of 40 points. And that means you can imagine what a DNF will feel like. That means the potential to lose 40 points while your competitor gains 40. So when we say everything is up for grabs, we mean it. Everything is up for grabs here today.
Yes, literally anyone's game. It's not just the top three. It's all the way, the whole total.
Yes, because we still have another two races each, right? So two races each, so a potential 80 points up for grabs. So 80 points is, if you think about it from the sporting class point of view, they have only got 75 each. So theoretically, of course, what happens in real life is totally different, but theoretically, you can get, somebody could come in and just start today and still win. Everything was up for grabs.
Literally.
Louis Ramirez, ladies and gentlemen.
Please take him home.
Yes, we're one big family over here at the Clark International Speedway, as you can see. And yes, everything was up for grabs. Thanks, Louis. Okay, so that brings us basically to the start of the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup. We'll be going upstairs into our broadcast room. Jup, you'll be walking around with Kuya Darbs. We'll be checking in with you.
I'll tell you the stories that we'll be hearing from trackside later on, but reserve your voices. I know we're going to have two great races here.
Oh, I'm sure. Look at that. Everyone's all prepped and ready. You can see them getting back in their cars. So it's on.
See you soon.
All right. James and Gabby will get ready in their positions. They have some of the best seats in the house. And if you guys want to have those too, well, you're very much welcome to join us here at the Clark International Speedway. So kung kaya nyo pa humabol, maybe you're watching on our live stream right now, pero gusto nyo humabol dito sa Clark, we haven't gotten the first race started, so meron pa tayo mamayang hapon. Make your way here now. We guarantee you that it's gonna be a great time. We had Kuya Darbs walk you through what else you can see here inside the CIS. So many things to do. You can even try out maybe some virtual racing if you want to do that, because we had some booths over there, as Kuya Darbs also walked us through earlier. So there's just a lot to experience here at the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup. Third leg na tayo, and if you were able to catch, especially the last race of our second leg, then you know a lot happened. There were incidents, accidents, there were a lot of thrilling moments, and that's what we promise you again here in leg 3. And kung matagal na kayong nanonood ng Vios Cup, whether it's live or via live stream, you know that the TGR Vios Cup always delivers with the action. So many things to do, so many races to cover, and incredible drivers. Right now, they're taking their photos, and kung kanina sinabi namin that this is the slowest you'll see these cars go on this track, when you saw them take the photo, that was the most smiles you'll see on this track later on. Even as soon as 10 minutes from now, those smiles will be wiped away, but it's gonna be locking in for all those drivers. Their game face is what they'll be wearing later on, and we promise to give you every bit of the action and more right here on this live stream. And again, if you want to join us here in Clark, you're more than welcome to do so. Please, please, we guarantee to bring you great action on the track. iba rin kasi talaga ma-experience at mapanood on the track itself. So, we'll get to our racers in just a bit. And James and Gabby will bring you, everything that's happening on the track. And I will do my best to tell you all the stories from trackside. It's going to be one heck of a day here at the Clark International Speedway. So make sure that you join us every bit of the way. All right, so right now, etong ating mga racers getting those photos in. They will be hopping into their cars in just a bit. And we'll get this first race, actually second race of this leg. So, okay, if you guys are not familiar with what happens in every weekend of the TGR Vios Cup, there is actually 2 race days in every weekend. So Friday, we have 1 race. And that's why Gabby walked you through the results of race 7. So that happened yesterday. Binanggit na ni Gabby yung mga nanalo, and we'll also remind you later on. So Saturday is where 2 of the 3 races in one weekend happened. And that's why today we're going to have race 8 and 9. And double the points, double the intensity. It just paints a picture of how everything and anything can happen in terms of the final standings. Our racers now starting to make their way to their cars. And in just a bit, this track, you'll hear the revs of those engines, those tires screeching. And by the end of the day, all that we'll be hearing, the screams of celebrations. And so, we can't wait to get this day, the race has started. But at this point, of course, we have to thank our sponsors. So let's hear from our voiceover.
Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022 is brought to you in cooperation with Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Petron XCS, fuel that knows you. Together with our other sponsors, Brembo, Denso, 3M, AVT, Rota, OMP, Tuazon Racing, My Toyota Wallet, and Kinto One. To our guests, please practice safety protocols. We're also used by now. Please wear your mask at all times, keep a safe distance, wash your hands frequently, and stay safe, everybody. To our online viewers, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Send your love and support to your favorite racers by sending us messages on our live stream.
Good morning, everyone! I can feel the energy, I can feel the heat. At nandito ako ngayon sa grandstand para i-feel ang energy ng crowd right now. Now guys para sa mga i-interviewin ko later, gusto ko maging ready kayo kasi bibigyan ko kayo ng exclusive bag. So, para hindi na tayo mamimilit ng interview, kayo na pupunta sa amin. And sa likod ko, meron tayong interview. And what's your good name?
Ali.
Ali! Paganda naman ni Ali. First time mo ba dito?
Yes, first time.
Laksan mo konti
Yes,
boss.
first time.
First time, okay. So, how's the experience so far?
Very exciting. Sobrang
Very
excited
exciting.
Ako.
Who are you cheering for?
Benedict Kua.
Benedict Kua. Anong message mo kay Benedict?
Benedict, good luck and see you later.
Sana all may see you later. Benedict, good luck daw. Of course, sir, what's your name?
Name is Rock.
Rock!
Yes.
Yung bato.
Bato.
Yung matigas.
Yes, matigas.
Ang damdamin.
Tama.
Rock, anong oras ka nandito?
Since 9 a.m. pa.
Since 9 a.m. pa. Is this your first time here?
Yep, first time.
So, kumusta naman ang experience?
Very exciting kasi since I'm a car guy, so nakaka-excite talaga.
Car guy ka din.
Yeah.
Sino ang sinusupport mo sa event na to?
Si Matsunaga.
Daniel Matsunaga. Anong message mo kay Daniel?
Go, 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 Daniel.
Go, 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 Daniel. O dahil dyan, meron kayong bag. Yan. Of course,
Thank you.
syempre, Very much welcome. Siyempre, hindi lang yun. Meron pa tayong interviewin. What's your good name po?
Hi, I'm Marnie. Marnie.
Marnie! Is this your first time seeing a race?
Yes, this is my first time.
So, kumusta naman? Like, how is your experience with what you are seeing right now?
It's so amazing.
Amazing. Kahit na medyo mainit pero sulit.
Yes.
Okay. Sino ang sinusupport mo ngayon?
Everyone.
Everyone?
Yes.
Wow. Anong message mo sa kanila?
Good luck and ingat sa pagdadrive.
Good luck and ingat sa pagdadrive. At sa lahat po ng nanonood ngayon na wala pa dito, please, sumunod na kayo para naman magkaroon tayo ng magandang experience in this weekend. Kung sakaling meron kang kadate, kung sakaling gusto mo ng family bonding, this is the place to be. So, pwede pa kayong humabol hanggang hapon pa po ito. And, of course, meron tayong isa pang i-interviewin. Madam, ano pong pangalan nyo? Ay, na-surprise! Anong pangalan?
Rebecca.
Rebecca. Miss Rebecca, sino pong kasama nyo dito?
Sila po.
Magkakasama
My
kayo.
3 kids po.
And bakit nyo na-decide to come here?
Gusto ko lang ma-experience.
Ang racing.
Yeah.
And so far, babalik ka ba next year?
Yes, of course.
At dadalhin mo na lahat.
Lahat ng family ko.
That's good to know. Dahil dyan, meron kang bag! Yan po, ang bag.
Thank you.
There you have it, guys. Everybody's excited here. And sana naman, we're gonna be able to have more fun later on. Sure ako dyan. So, back to you guys.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much, Kuya Darbs. Kuya Darbs is doing all of our, how do we call it, paddock reports. He's going to be doing the crowd reporting and stuff like that. So it's always good to get a post check from him as well. How are you doing there, Gab? I'm not sure if I can hear you, Gab. Maybe we can try.
Yeah,
there you go. I can barely, I can't hear Gab. Can you hear Gab? I mean, I can hear her sitting right next to me, but I can't hear her through my headphones. But anyway, while that's happening, Gab, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the opening. It's a big day. It's the biggest day for the racers because this is down to the final round. I mean, they've been battling it out since the entire year, and this race round is going to come down to the wire. We've got double points happening here as well. Okay, so we're going to turn over right now to Judd, and we'll come back with some mic volume for Gab.
Thank you, James and Gabby. You know, for our viewers and even those with us here at the Clark International Speedway, I just want to tell you a quick story on something that happened in the previous leg. Remember back in the third race of leg 2 when there was an incident, a big one, towards, I think it was around the 6th lap of that second or third race, where Red Diwa actually collided with John Dizon, and it was something that shook us as we were watching from the screens here at the Clark International Speedway. And I guess it was one of the worst, I would say, that incidents we saw in this season of the TGR Vios Cup, as Red had to exit the track, actually not bringing his car, but on an ambulance. He's okay though, but what I want to harp on is the redemption story, because yesterday in race number 7, Red came out victorious in that super sporting class, and it just tells you how much he's eager to bounce back. And you can tell that if he breaks that fire, not just to race 7, but to races 8 and 9, where we say again, it's double the points, well, things might be looking good for Red, and this might still be a season to remember for him here in the TGR Vios Cup. And it's also the same stories that every single driver wants to tell by the end of the day, because, well, the standings that we'll have after today's 2 races will be the final standings of the season. In our sporting class, Joaquin Garrido has won the race 3 times already. 3 out of the 7 races that we've had in sporting class, Joaquin Garrido has topped them. However, a couple of DNFs plus some penalty points have hurt him, and now he's sitting still up there in our top 3 where you mentioned, James, it's so close. 75, 75, and 74 are our top 3 scores at this point, or standings in sporting class. So we're gonna keep monitoring all those points because they are definitely gonna shift, especially again with double points for races 8 and 9. Back to you, James and Gabby. All right, well, sorry, we'll keep it here first, but let me walk you through again the results of promotional class. In third place, this is for race 7, so the race that happened yesterday. For promotional class, we had Alain Alzona finishing third, and in second, we had Daniel Matsunaga. And our champion for promotional class in race 7 of the third leg as well is Julia de Los Angeles. And in sporting class, Daryl Garbes finishing third. Second place is Troy Montero. And our champion, Joaquin Garrido. In our super sporting class, yesterday's race ended with John Dizon in third, Inigo Anton in second, and again, Red Diwa finishing as our champion here in race 7. So it's definitely something to look forward to. Everything that's going down here in the final 2 races of the TGR Vios Cup 2022. James, Gab, do you have some fearless forecasts for what will happen here today?
John, I've learned my lesson not to make any kind of fearless forecast.
That's smart, that's smart.
Yes, because, you know, we always say this. In racing, anything can happen, and usually does. So
Definitely.
the wise money is to just sit down and just watch, right? Until that checkered flag falls down, it's anybody's game. I mean, as we keep mentioning, double points up for grabs here. There's just, you can go down as low as, let's say, even in the sporting class right now, anybody, absolutely anybody, mathematically
Can win the championship.
Now, that's different from saying that it will happen, obviously. I mean, everyone knows that. But mathematically, it is possible for anybody to win, including somebody that's, you know, the one at the bottom of the ladder there. Or somebody who just joins because of the double points. So, you know what? You got to be so careful coming into this because everything to lose coming in, right?
And, you know, the person down the line has everything to gain. And you know, what's nice about it is what we mentioned before. The top 6 is actually a reverse grid. So yeah, you might bag that, you know, that championship in race 8. That brings you all the way back to number 6, starting there.
Yeah.
So what's beautiful about it, it's not just being fast, it's how well you can overtake, how well you can cut through those corners and, you know, slide yourself without any incidents. Take note, without any incidents. And of course, everyone's hungry tonight. Everyone's hungry, not tonight. I mean, everyone's hungry today because this is last race. And this is the last leg. This is what makes you, you know, either you're there up there receiving that championship or even that overall championship. Or you practice for the next season.
Absolutely. I mean, we turned it, almost used the word, a lot of people are hungry out there. This feels like the Hunger Games right now because it is just so, it's just anybody's game. And so people are coming in here, as Gab said, with, it's a different mindset. And I'm going to ask you as a racer, you've got so much to think about already in the car. Do you think about the championship that way, or do you just say, no, this is just another race? Or do you try to think about the points and the double points and the
oh yes.
As a driver, are you trying to think
as a
like
driver,
that?
yeah.
Like, for example, if you're coming in, you made a comment about, let's say, race number 8, for example. Okay, so you win race number 8, but you're in 6th place for race number 9 because of the reverse grid. Do you, as a driver, make that decision? Look, I'd rather finish hypothetically 4th so that I'm right there, or I'll finish 6th so that I'm 1st place, or do you just just drive the car and let the team handle all that?
I think to each his own, but for me personally, that's never come into mind. It's always like, okay, I'm
win
there,
this
like
race, win this race.
with the championship always at the back of my mind.
Okay. because that's just, you know what, like we keep talking about, there's just so much to think about when you're looking at the season and how things are going with the way we do the reverse grid is one, the way we do the ballast system is another. So all of these things come into play, but I guess what we want to communicate here to everybody who's watching is this is really a proving ground and a foundation for the future racers. So we're trying to put them through the most difficult initiation, so to speak, into international racing, because once they go out there and they start competing like Daniel Miranda and these other drivers have graduated from Vios Cup into the open sea, so to speak, they have this wealth of experience of, you know, balancing ballast and then winning, but then getting penalized to sixth, so that when they go into the outside world, somehow they're a bit more prepared.
Yes,
Do you agree?
they know what they're getting into. And what's nice is, especially when they go out there, obviously they're representing our flag, they're representing the Philippines. And this is what this grassroots program does. I mean, it starts at promotional class, then you go up to to sporting, then to super sporting, then maybe B1, then international. Toyota has given such a good platform wherein you don't just hone yourself as a race car driver. You hone yourself as a a great sportsman. From teamwork to camaraderie, all these things wherein they're not just teaching you to drive fast, they're teaching you to understand the car, teaching you team strategy, they're teaching you how to read the track. Because as much as, like what James was saying, as much as unpredictable the races are over here, the track is definitely as unpredictable. I was driving yesterday on my way here, and I looked at the weather and it said like rain, storm. And I get here, it's like, oh, it's sunny, thank God. But they say in Clark, you'll never know. You'll never really know.
Absolutely. It's sunny one day and then it's pouring the next. Not even the next day. Sometimes it's pouring. It's like this, and then in the afternoon it's pouring
within
down.
the hour. So
Yeah.
I could already, it was scorching hot a while ago at the opening. But now I'm like looking around and seeing, hey, yeah, it's nice and sunny, but maybe in 2 hours it'll be slip and slide. You never know.
And as you mentioned earlier about preparing people and the whole scene of racing, it's not just about the race. Racing is an industry, and it's a very, very big industry as well. So Toyota are providing structure for people. It's not just teaching you how to drive. It's providing structure so that you can enter the industry of racing and still be well equipped, because this is what it's going to be like as you compete overseas. Gab, you've competed many times overseas. How would you rate this in terms of like an international standard? Does the Vios Cup hold its own as a racing series?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, if you look at it. Okay. All right. Okay. Kuya Darbs, I think, has more love advice for us.
And who doesn't need more love advice in their life? Kuya Darbs!
Yes!
Okay, well, there he is.
Hello! Yan! Hello, James, Gab, Jot! Grabe, ibang-iba ang energy dito sa grandstand ngayon, and I'm very excited. I think na the race is already starting. What can you say about it, Jot?
Well, Gabby and James, we're talking about yung weather natin dito, Darbs, di ba? And like I said yesterday, nakakwentuhan natin. Yung dalawang nanalo in their respective races, Julia de Los Angeles and Joaquin Garrido, they had their differences. Most drivers, di ba, they like the dry roads, and they say the rain is a great equalizer. Actually, Joaquin told me yesterday that he's been driving on wet roads for a long time, because that guy started racing, he told me, at the age of 6. So he feels that it's an advantage that he has kasi komportable daw siya when driving on wet roads, that sometimes he even likes it more than these sunny days. Julia wasn't shy in expressing also how challenging driving inside a car, of course, with a scorching sun is or can be. And James, you and I were talking earlier about this day being one of the warmer ones, we have to say, dun sa mga times that we were out here at the Clark International Speedway for the TGR Vios Cup. And I guess I want to ask Gabby about how that impacts a driver. Racing already takes a lot of toll on the body, on the mental as well, but being, inside such a the pressure of being inside that car, the heat, inside that car when you're out there on the track, how much does it come into play, Gabby?
Oh yeah, that definitely is hot. It's like a sauna suit. I remember watching an episode on Mythbusters, and they asked about they wanted to see if it's plausible to lose 10 kilos. And they did the test, and they actually lost more than 10 kilos of water weight.
Because a lot of people don't believe that when, it became a very quotable quote from Formula One that drivers would lose, 20 pounds or something. How do you lose 20 pounds in a race? Yeah, I remember that. But it's through the water weight that you lose it from 2 hours of Grand Prix racing, right? In one of those fireproof suits. And so you've got to be extremely physically fit. You've also got to be very well hydrated when you go out there. And if you're not, well, it does also take a certain amount of, it's not the amount of physicality, right? It's the fitness for your mental, for your concentration. Because there's not a lot of fitness in terms of, you're not pushing that steering wheel, any harder. It's not like a 50-pound steering wheel. But what you do have to have physical capability of your neck, right?
Yeah, your neck definitely, though as you get to the stronger engines, the G-force gets much more powerful, and that's where things get tricky. You could have 10 kilos or 20, or even 50-pound weight just on your neck, depending on the G's that you're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are just some of the things that are not readily noticeable to people who don't go racing, but believe us when we tell you it is a very, very demanding sport physically, mentally, and of course you got to be as fit as possible to keep your concentration. You cannot afford to make any mistakes at, let's say, 180 kilometers an hour, especially when you're side by side with a whole bunch of other cars that are just trying to get your spot. So it's going to be very competitive as we come into this final round here. 2 races per category, or per class, we should say. Each race is a total of 40 points, and that will bring us to 80 points up for grabs this weekend. So a lot to play for.
Grabe, 10 kilos pala ang nawawala water weight. That's something
absolutely.
Amazing. Meron akong question from my point of view, as an enthusiast, pero hindi ko pa talaga na-try being out there. Kay Gab, does it matter? Why can't they turn on the AC? Does it affect the performance of the car pag naka-off yung AC, or doesn't matter that much? Para naman di sila ganun masyado kainit sa loob.
Alam mo, every millisecond counts. You're not talking about, lamang ako by 5 seconds, especially during qualifying. It could be a 0.1 of a second, or even less of that. And that single thing we're in, it's faster than a snap, could matter between you being first place or second place. Kaya kailangan talagang patayin ang AC.
Let me just add something to that that might help out. It's even, let's say in the pinnacle of racing, Formula One. You talk about using the aircon. Why can't they just balance it out? They measure the weight of the paint in Formula One, and they measure the weight of the stickers that they put on the car, and they even have a raffle system on the cameras that they add on top of the. Not all the cars have the cameras on the roll before and the hoop, because that's extra weight, and it's also sometimes they'll even argue aerodynamics. That's how we're talking about, down to that detail. Is there even down to that? So you can imagine aircon is definitely a no-no.
Yeah, there's this, they're saying that with Ayrton Senna that apparently when he does his flying lap, he holds his breath throughout the whole lap. Obviously, it's like crazy impossible, but they have it based. Okay, yes. To sum it up, basically it's 1/10 of a second every time you breathe air. That's what they say, and that's why Ayrton Senna does it. But anyway, everyone is at the grid, so it's about to start, guys.
go.
And this
Very
is it
exciting.
now. No, this is, they've already done their warm-up lap.
Kanina pala, hindi pala starting race. It was actually just a warm-up. My apologies.
Yes.
This is now the time that the race is gonna start. There you have it.
And they're off. Yeah, guys, this is the first lap as they come down to the first corner. Car number 18 is leading the pack there. From car number they're heading down to the first corner. It looks pretty safe right now. We've got 4 cars abreast. They're going to have to funnel down into about 2 cars and then eventually down into about 1. It's going to be very, very tight as they come down to the corkscrew. Let's check the cameras to see how they come down into it. We've lost our monitor, so unfortunately can't really see exactly what's going on as they come down into the corkscrew. It seems like everybody's made it there. Car number 18 leading the pack. That is the car of
Jaron Messina.
And
Messina. I think number 69, Ian Rosales, went up a place against Alan Palacios. We just have to see again. As it gets closer, it is tight coming into the loop. Ooh, he was about to overtake, but he decided to take it easy.
Yes, we've lost our monitor here up top. If we can get someone from tech to just reconnect that somehow, so we can see what's going on the racetrack out there. We do have a bit of a live view from where we are. We can see the cars, but they're in a blind spot right now.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the reverse grid. As we mentioned before, the reason why the top 6 are placed like this is that it is a reverse grid. So at first place during race 7 was Julia de Los Angeles, then Daniel Matsunaga, Elaine Alzona, Ian Rosales, Alan Palacios, then on 6 is Jaron Messina, who is now our race leader.
And I think we just got, if I'm not mistaken, I think Daniel Matsunaga was able to climb 1 spot there by Akacha. Again, a little difficult for us to see here. If we can get our monitor reconnected, we'll be able to give you a better description of what's going on right now. But we can tell you right now, from this point of view, it is still Jaron Messina leading this race, car number 18, and he's got quite a healthy gap to the rest of the field there as they come in to finish their first lap here of 12 laps of racing per race. So there's still quite a little bit to go here. This is just the first lap of where we're going to have 48 laps so far, because we're going to have we're going to have 3 different 48 laps, but we have 3 different categories. Anyway, too much math for me to try to do on the fly. Jaron Messina comes up ahead, and then it is
Ian Rosales in second. Number 3 is 44 Alan Palacios. So what's interesting about it here is like what we said with the reverse grid, you never really know. And Jaron ended up 6th, but now he's first with a healthy lead with double points. So if it's, team strategy or strategy all on its own, I don't know, but it definitely is working in his favor.
Absolutely. Okay, so while the tech crew try to reconnect our timing devices and our video devices, because this is pretty much all we've got to comment on, except we can look over our shoulders and just tell you that Jaron is still in the lead. But other than that, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, well, there is a bit of dicing mid-grid. Sadly, my eyesight doesn't read. I can't read the numbers.
The numbers, of course, yes. But it is, at least at this moment right now, we are in a single file, so we don't see any side-by-side action here. But coming up to Akasha, this is a crucial point, because this is one of the better opportunities for overtaking, as you're going to come down on what is the second longest straight?
The second longest straight, yes. The back straight that goes to a tight left-hander.
Yes, and I think Jay Lau and Daniel Matsunaga are fighting it out again in Akasha. I don't know if Matsunaga was able to win that corner. Looks like he was.
It was almost. He actually backed out at the apex.
Yeah. Okay, good.
But it's quite interesting. We're in when you see it, there's a big difference. There's really a big advantage when you're up in first, because you're getting all that clean air. And if second and third are dicing and everyone behind you are dicing, they're busy scrubbing away time, whereas you get the optimal line the whole time, and that's what gives Jared Messina, basically that huge gap that we're seeing right now. Because the whole time, Ian Rosales and Alain Palacios are just over there just trying to overtake one another. And as, you know, someone's doing the defensive line or someone's trying to overtake, that's just like scrubbing tires and, you know, losing. You're not gaining as much points. But yeah, as you can see, we're 1/4 into the race, and we're getting our timing schedule.
Yep, we got our timing back, which is great. So we've got like Ian Rosales about 1.6 seconds behind the leader, Jared Messina. 1.6 seconds. It doesn't seem like much, but in racing, that's quite a lot. But then again, that's also just one mistake, right?
Yes.
I mean, it seems like it is a lot, but it depends on the perspective you're looking at, because you do one misshift and you can lose half a second, or even more if you're not careful. So just you gotta keep your eye on the ball each time here, as any mistake right now when you're doing double points. And does this, I mean, like, do you drive more conservatively? I mean, how does this affect your driving? Yeah, knowing that you got double points up for grabs.
Oh, you know, as much as possible, obviously, you try to not let it get to you. But it's always there, especially the last race, you know, the last weekend. You know, it's in your mind, the jitters are there. So when you're at the track, as much as possible, when the red lights go off, you're just focused, at least you try to be focused on the track. So far, it's been an interesting rundown. People have been playing it. There's been a bit of dicing here and there, but people have been playing it safe, maybe preparing for race 9. Let us give you a quick rundown on the list. So at first is number 18, Jared Messina, followed by Ian Rosales, then Alain Palacios at 3rd. 4th is Daniel Matsunaga. 5th, Jay Lau, and I think it was Danielle and Jay that have been dicing all throughout so far.
Yes, you're correct. It was 66, car number 66, and Daniel Matsunaga. So Jay Lau and Fabio Ide, our other Brazilian or Japanese, should I say, driver, who's been with us since the very start. He's there in 7th place. I had a chat with him at the grid as he was preparing for this race. He said he had a very difficult one yesterday. He got into a pretty major chunk on the track, and it damaged his car quite a bit, and does really put him back a little bit in the championship. But I also asked him the same thing. So how do you come in approaching this race? Every race is the same. Every racer wants to win it. So whether they're last in the championship or first in the championship, the one thing that's really great about this is everybody's vying for that top spot with the same amount of appetite to win, right? So, because I mean, if you've not won anything in the series, and so you're out of the championship, at least you can walk away saying, I was a race winner. I won the last round. And in racing, and just like in any sport, you're only as good as your last result. So,
I heard something.
Yes, I did.
I can't exactly see it. There seems to be a bit of dicing from 4th and 5th.
That's sometimes our cue when we hear the grunts from underneath us, from the paddocks, because sometimes they have information we don't have, and we heard a big grunt over there. So it looked like it was a close call, but nobody was out actually off the track or anything like that. But we do see some action brewing in 2nd and in 3rd place. There's a potential swap there in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That spot there is one to watch.
3rd, 4th, and 5th. And now it'll be interesting since Alan Palacios finally got off the scuffle and has some breathing room. It's now focusing on Jared Messina. So can he reach it? So far right now, there's a 2.5, a little more than 2.5 second difference between Jared and Alain.
Yes, and the one that you also want to be watching out for here, who's not, sadly, who's bunched up in the back, but she's leading the championship, is Julia de Los Angeles.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, I think that isn't even I don't know if they had the race 7 results already in here. But if they do, they haven't put the race 7 results here.
There, race she won.
Oh yeah, so she won, which makes her go up to 99. So she has 99 points, followed by Ian Rosales, which has 87 points. And yeah, so far so far looking good. Actually, it's anyone's game, especially in the top 5.
Yes, so she does have to make sure she finishes ahead of Ian Rosales, or at least not far behind. I mean,
Yes.
like, if she wants to take it down to the wire, she's going to have to finish at least maybe one spot behind him, and she might still be able to win. So if Ian was to win this race, arguably, just hypothetically, should I say, and get the 40 points, she'd have to come in around second or third to keep her hopes alive. But of course, there's another race with 40 points up for grabs. But I guess what we're saying here is Julia has got to get out of the 8th position, because you know what? There are so many points that are being taken away from her right now, and she's leading this championship.
Well, she is definitely in a tough spot right now, but there's still 9 laps to go, and with that 9 laps, anything can happen. Especially, you know, when you're past the midway point, your tires are a bit scrubbed, they're a bit hot. You know, there's a bit of like physical exhaustion. That's where like some errors come into play, and we don't know the mental stress or the physical stress that you have in your body or in your car, the way you need to adapt to your car. Because like driving these things, a lot of people think, okay, you drive it the same way from start to finish. It's not like that, because the conditions changes, the car changes, especially with the tires and everything. And depending on how you use your car and how you kind of use it, that'll all matter. But right now, we just heard from the team is that number 61. Oh no, wait, it's
exactly. So Julia is now stalled, and that means she is out of this race.
That is heartbreaking right there.
Yes, it is. She was leading this championship coming in, but remember, there's still up for grabs another race. There's still 40 points up for grabs. So it's not impossible for her, but this has put a real big dent in her championship run.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough fight.
Absolutely, and it's going to be very heartbreaking to, you know, I really hope that she's able to just get that car back up and running for the next race. But with a race that's a sprint race, considered a sprint race 12 laps, you know, if your car breaks down or if you're stalled for any reason, the chances of you actually placing again is very, 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 very low. I don't recall seeing it. And of course, if you come into the pits, it's over. You're not allowed to come into the pits for repairs during a sprint race. So they're really going to have to sort of do their best for the next race for Julia de los Angeles. What a very difficult start for her. But let's focus on Jaron Messina right now, who is coming across that line, doing a lap time of 2.28531. He has now got a gap. Oh, we've lost our timing devices again.
Yeah, but he is coming in strong. You know, he looks confident so far throughout the race. And now, Ian Rosales is trying to do an overtake, and I think he just did. And that puts him up second. And if he is in second, he would be our current leader right now for the championship.
Okay, well, hopefully we can also get the timing devices connected again, because we've seem to have had some technical problems with that as well. Lots of action still happening on the track. We're still watching the first race of the day, but this is race number 8 of the series, and we still have another one more to go after this. At the moment, Jaron Messina, like we said, is leading this race.
There's a little more dicing right over there. I don't know, honestly, which of which. Is it Alain Palacios trying to overtake Ian Rosales to gain back his position? Or is it Ian Rosales trying to finally hold on to, like, hey, that second spot is mine?
Yes, I think the only one that's having a pretty straightforward race right now is Jaron Messina, and he's just cleaning up right now. He's just making the most of this advantage that he's got, this gap that he's built up, and that's good for him, because really you don't want to be tangling up there in the back right now. We have a battle for second place at the moment between Alan and Ian, and when they get closer we'll be able to see who's who, because again, we still have no monitors up here to be able to see that clearly, and we also have no timing devices at the moment.
Ooh, okay, so you know what? Ian Rosales actually overtook Alan Palacios.
Okay, so that is the battle for second place, all done and dusted for now, because we still have several laps to go. Yes, let's try to get that thing connected again because we're kind of guessing at the moment.
Wow, this is pretty intense. I could just hear their screams.
Yes, I can hear the screams from the paddock.
It's like a roller coaster ride right over here.
Oh, Fabio Ida's in the pits right now.
Ooh.
So he's still, it looks like maybe his car has not been completely fixed from the shunt yesterday that he had that put him out of the race. He's had a very, very difficult weekend, and it's just getting even harder for him right now.
Okay. And Jay Lau and Alain Alzona looks like they're battling it out as well. Coming into the straights.
Now there we go. The timers just kicked in again. Great. We have 6 laps to go. This is exactly the halfway mark of the race. Alan Palacios loses a spot to Ian Rosales. It is a pretty big gap from our race leader, Jaron Messina. It's now 3.5 gap. That was about 1.7 before. So he's doubled his lead into this final half, or the second half of this race. Still 6 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Everything's still play for, except it looks like Fabio Ida and Julia de Los Angeles are out of this race. Also, Dondi Gafu seems to be very 57 seconds behind, so he's just having a hard time there trying to keep up. But looks like 2 already casualties in this race.
Yeah, that is tough. So do they use the you're not considered DNF if it's 75% of the race?
Yes, I believe once you hit the 75% mark and you pull in, well, you just hope that you can score a point maybe or so. But yeah, like Fabio Ida right now at 10th place, theoretically, if you did the 75%, you'd get a point or 2 points because it's double.
It's double.
Yeah,
okay.
but
sadly, yeah. I mean, 5 laps. 5 laps? It's a 12-lap race,
It's a 12-lap
right?
race, so you got to do at least 9 laps to get the 75. But I'm not sure. We can't confirm with Purdy on if they do award half points for. Sometimes they do the half points for 50% of the race. But in any case, the maximum that Fabio will be getting will be 2 points, I think, maximum.
You know, sometimes
that's all it comes down to.
Yep. Every point counts, and especially with this, with double points, you'll never really know.
Okay, let's check it out. I think this is our race leader coming up again. That's Jaron Messina. And Jaron is on a 2:29 lap, 2.6 seconds ahead of Ian Rosales. And Alan Palacios in 3rd place. Alain Alzona is in 4th spot. And we have Jay Lau in 5th. Daniel Matsunaga in 7th. Paulo Ayo in 7th. Bong Garbes in 8th. Dondi Gapud in 9th. And Fabio Ide, well, he's already stalled or in the pits, but 10th place.
Yeah, so right now the battle is on with Alain Alzona and Jay Lau. Ooh, and I see a bit of dust over there. Looks like it was just a bit of an overshoot.
A bit of an overshoot, that always happens in turn number 1. You know, especially if you get a little bit, if you're dabbing your brakes a little hard, sometimes those things can build up quite a bit of heat to them, and your braking distances will change. So it's still a lot to consider when you're driving these cars around, and make sure that you keep them in tip-top shape because you got to make them last. The one thing these Vios Cup cars have done is they've proven that they can go for a beating and keep coming back.
Oh yes, you know, right now, we're doing the sprint race. These cars have done 12-hour races non-stop. You know, they've finished first and stuff like that, and endurances like that.
Well, the fact that almost every taxi you see is a Vios, and every ride-sharing car, it says everything you need to know. That really is a sign of durability. You know, it is a choice of taxi drivers, fleets, and then now racing as well. And this is part of also why we talk about Gazoo Racing and why Gazoo Racing Toyota formed this partnership is because it embodies Toyota's commitment to overcoming every limit to make even better cars. I mean, as we talked about in the intro, you don't just say if you make better cars one day, then you'll always make better cars. It's about always keeping that relentless pursuit of perfection and excellence that Toyota have in ingrained into their DNA. And I think that's pretty much also another thing that they do over here is they are engineering Toyota's future DNA through racing.
Definitely. You know, what's great about them, yeah, it's like you don't sit comfortable being number one. You try to make ways, you try to find new paths. So it's not even like, okay, we're following this cookie cutter program. No, we're forging our own path. If they say, okay, this is the best, we're the greatest, no, we're gonna even make it greater and greater. And that's what's beautiful about this whole race. You know, yeah, you're looking at this race and you're thinking, oh yeah, it's performance Vios. But this is part of the whole wacky-doki theory, and this is the part of the whole Gazoo racing. What they're doing here is gonna be brought and is gonna help Toyota build better cars for tomorrow, for everyone at the streets right now, feeling comfortable. The reason for that, you know, your VSS being so good is because of these races right here with Vios Cup.
Absolutely, because you know the one challenge about being the leader and in your division, your field, which Toyota is the #1 car company, especially right here in the Philippines by far, right? The problem with that is, you know, people will imitate you, right? So your competitors will copy you and copy your blueprint. This is why Toyota remains at the forefront of the game by keeping in racing, because racing will really bring the best out of you for new technologies and solutions under the extreme conditions of motorsport. If you just stay there saying, well, we know how to build a great car, well, soon enough your competitors will copy that formula, that blueprint, and they will build as good a car. So you always have to be a constant moving target. And that's what Toyota does with their racing program, is they're constantly a moving target, because you don't learn from yourself as much during your success, do you? It's during your trials and tribulations and the adventures and, of course, the challenges that you face. That's when you learn. Or during your low times. You know, and racing is full of highs and lows. But the lessons that you gain from there are something that you can't get from any other situation. You need to go through it. That's why we go racing with Toyota that's why the Vios Cup exists.
Yes, definitely. It's really with the toughest challenges, and that's why they push their cars to these rigorous things. These sometimes may be detrimental, but it really, when you learn with these crazy challenges, that's when you build better stuff. And that's where you hone things into a diamond.
You forge them into a diamond. And you know what? Another thing, Gab, is it's not just about the products and the cars per se. That's one thing, we've discussed that, but it's the culture. It's the culture that you create, the teamwork, the relationships you forge under these conditions are unlike any other out there. So you talk about, let's say, Team Avengers, the camaraderie that they form here. They're a working team. These guys are a working team out there in retail, selling cars and all that. You don't think they bring that culture that they learned here at the Vios Cup and they bring that to their showrooms? Of course they do. That's what they do it for as well. So that now they work as a team, a finely oiled team, not just on the racetrack, but in their showrooms, with their customers, with their service department. And you can't really buy that because it's the people that make the company.
Oh yes, that I'm gonna put that as a bumper
There you
sticker
go.
right
I
there.
wasn't reading that. That came from the heart.
Wow, yeah. It really is the team that makes the company. You know, it's also quite fascinating to me, like Team Cebu. You know, they fly all the way from Cebu with their lechon.
Yes.
I hope there's lechon tonight. But anyway, they fly and just support their team.
Absolutely.
And the dedication that I've seen, and then it's not just a one-time thing. They've been here for the past few years. And, oh man, whenever I see them, win or lose, their smiles, it's just priceless when you see them there at the warning.
Absolutely. I bumped into a bunch of the Team Cebu guys, Jonathan Ho, and a bunch of guys there. And yeah, you're right. They fly in for this. You know, the kind of logistics and what they have to go through just to get the car in the grid is amazing, but they're here every single time. And as far back as I can remember, there's always been a Team Cebu in the Vios Cup.
Yes.
And this has been going on now. Next year will be the 10th year of the Vios Cup. Now, I don't know when officially Toyota start counting, because the 2013 Vios Cup started as an inaugural round, and that was the one that I joined. So whether they count that as the 10th year of the Vios Cup, or do they count 2014 as the start of the first official when they opened it to the racers? Because inaugural was completely different. We did, but it inaugurated the Vios Cup. So I would say it makes sense to say 10 years next year.
It makes sense to say 10 years, then we can celebrate again.
Yes, and if we're wrong, we celebrate again 2024. But yeah, can you imagine when Sugata-san, Michinobu Sugata-san, first brought this into the Philippines? A lot of people were criticizing him for taking on such a big measure because they were all saying that racing is dead in the Philippines. What are you doing? Don't invest anymore into this. You don't need to, you're number one. But he had a vision, and the vision has been handed down and carried on by each of his successors. So you look at Okamoto-san as well, who has imbibed this. He understands what the program is that was started by Sugata-san. When I say started, he started here in the Philippines. Vios Cup was around before that, but Michinobu Sugata fought to bring it into the Philippines. And 10 years later, we're still here and going stronger and stronger and stronger. So it shows Toyota's commitment to anything that they do, you know, and they proved everybody wrong through typhoons, through pandemics, through all the odds. Toyota have always delivered every year. I think we only had to stall one time in the 2020, but they figured out ways. They did virtual racing.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
we kept that going.
Way to pivot. You know, like what they say, a true test of character isn't really when you're everything is good. It's when, you know, you get hit that curveball and you know what to do. You know, you make lemonade out of lemons.
Absolutely.
And that was a very good example if you think about it when the pandemic hit and everything. You could have just like closed shop and hey, you know what? I'm done. It's okay. Let's just wait for it to open back up. But they didn't. They actually did the whole program with the online, the virtual, and that brought on so much more racers. And I think we are up to our last
We're
lap.
up to our last lap. Yes, our timers are frozen again, but we have good word or we have a good authority that we are on the last lap right now of this 12-lap race. Here, race number 8 of the promotional and also the sporting class, right?
Yep.
So we mixed the grids here.
So we should watch out for the checkered flag. As soon as I see that checkered flag, that determines the...
Nope. I think we see a sign that's not a...
Maybe last lap? The official last lap marker right there.
All right.
I'm thinking, or a penalty, which is something we wouldn't want. I don't think so. It's very rare because, you know, he's been doing a spectacular race. He's been flying just over there. Look at that grid. That advantage, I'm thinking that's around like 2-3 seconds away from the second placer right now. Jared Messina has had a stellar race so far.
Yes, he has. It's been a pretty straightforward race for Jaron. He's come out and he started in the lead, and he's kept that lead ever since. It looks easy, but it's anything but. I know watching it, you go, okay, well, that was an easy race for him. But if you are being chased down by another 12 Vioses, do you say Vioses? Is that how you pluralize it?
You can do that, I think.
Vioses?
Vios.
Yep. So yeah, but you got 12 angry Vioses right behind you trying to take your spot. It's anything but. But you know, it just when the hallmark of being a professional is making it look easy, right?
Yep.
But it's anything but. You try and get out there and maintain your lead for 12 laps out there. It is no joke.
It's that smoothness, and usually the last couple of laps, especially when you know you're up at front, that's when the jitters come. It's like, hey, I can't mess this up. I can't.
Yes.
You know, that's when your brain kind of plays with you. And if he wins, Jared Messina would actually hit all the way to go up to 84 points.
Which would bring him to, well, it's hard to say because you got to add the points to the other drivers.
Yes, but theoretically, if the drivers don't have their points yet, that'll be top 3. See, that's how amazing this double point system is.
But of course, you know, he would have to finish the race in his spot and everybody else not finish for him to lead the race. But each one ahead of him has, or behind him also have double points. So it's going to come down to the wire. Guaranteed that we're going to get down to the final race to find out who's champion. And let's see if they are pulling out the checkered flag.
I think
yes,
they
I can see the
are.
checkered flag.
Woo!
And it's out. Jaron Messina takes the race number 8 for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022, followed by Ian Rosales and Alan Palacios in 3rd place. In 4th place, it's Alain Alzona crossing the line. Jay Lau should be finishing right there in 5th place, followed by Danielle Matsunaga.
No, I think 31 right now is Paulo Ayo.
Okay, so our timing devices are frozen still. So, yep, unfortunately couldn't give you an exact figure there, but that's how it looked. We'll give you those are provisional results only. Official results will come out later as we get them from the steward's office and race control as well. So, wow, what a race. Looked pretty straightforward, but like we said, anything but. Very, very difficult to keep that pace of how Jaron was able to do it and keep his nose clean and out of trouble.
Yes, definitely. You know, it was a pretty straightforward. It was a safe race. It was unfortunate for some. Obviously, a lot more fortunate for others. We will see, obviously, in the 9th race, which is the very last race of this season, and that's when, you know, the Pangs comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, we will still have, we'll be checking in with Judd and Kuya Darbs in just a little while. We like to get, of course, the racers and the drivers' feedback as they come out of their cars. Nothing better than getting it nice and fresh. It's like as soon as they pop out there, we got Judd with the microphones, going to be shoving it in their faces and talking about how their race went. So, but provisionally, it's Jaron Messina in 1st place. Again, did you see it? Were we correct at least with the top 3? Because
yes, as far as I could see, it was Jared Messina, Ian Rosales, and
Alan Palacios. Okay,
yep.
Well, let's try to do a little bit of dirty math here. A little bit of dirty math, but it's going to be a little bit tough. Top plus 40
so
for
Ian, I think would be ahead because like he won 2nd, and if he won 2nd, that's 30 points, right? And that brings him all the way up to 117.
Okay.
Compared to Alain Alzona, which is 20 points, which brings him up
95.
to 95.
No, 105. Is it 195?
No,
yeah, 95.
95. And so technically, Julia de Los Angeles still has a chance because she's still 99 points, which makes her 2nd place.
And if we put Jaron, add 40 to Jaron's 56,
yeah, that would be...
It'd still be under...
Yeah, it would still be 84.
It's from 56, that's a 96.
Oh, sorry? No,
Jaron?
No, I think Jaron is
He's
34.
So 34
yeah.
plus 40, okay, so he's 74.
Yeah.
74. And yep, so he still has quite a bit. But what a race to win! If you're gonna win a race,
yeah, win the last 2, definitely.
Yeah, my gosh, that's gonna be like. In fact, he would have. Here's how crazy it is. He would have scored more in today's race than he did his entire season.
That actually is true because he is currently at 34 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
That's
actually
not even
missed the first
74.
leg. Yeah. It would have been interesting if he actually got to race 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how crazy it would be if he won this race and he had missed race how many?
Ooh,
as we keep
let's
saying,
not
you know,
go there.
as we keep saying, this is all about basically training drivers to be able to handle anything that comes to them, because this is going to be racing. So maybe it might not be as crazy as this. You might enjoy a series where it's all, you know, very straightforward. You got your no reverse grids, no penalties, meaning for ballast, no double points at the end. And then you'll go, gosh, this is so easy by comparison. So yes, going through this training ground or this initiation is certainly going to breed a better class of drivers. So that's why we do it. It may seem a little complicated for some people who are watching. It may seem, in some ways, some people have said unnecessary. But it is necessary when you look at the goal of what Toyota Motor Philippines is doing with the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup.
Because, you know, it's not just about being the fastest. It's about, like, honing different types of skills. And you really want to be an all-around driver, meaning, you know, you want to be able to learn how to overtake properly. You want to be able to learn how to dice. You want to be able to learn how to adapt in different scenarios, whether you be at the front grid, the mid grid, or even at the back. Because the way of attacking a pack would all change depending on which part of like the grid you are.
Absolutely. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Still a lot, still a couple more races to go. We also have the autocross that's happening as well later on.
That is, I think, happening. Is it right after, or are we gonna go through the first round of like sporting and super sporting? But before that, obviously, this whole event wouldn't have happened if not for our sponsors. So we'd like to thank Brembo,
Denso,
3M,
AVT,
Rhoda,
OMP,
Tuason Racing,
and My Toyota Wallet,
and Kinto One.
This brings us right to the highlights of the slow-mo action of what happened in this race number 8 that we just finished for the promotional class. Let's check it out. That's the only, I guess, the tricky part about broadcasting from up here. We do get to see the cars and feel the action or feel the vibe, etc. But there's a lot of glare.
Yeah,
We're outdoors.
Totally squinting right now.
We're totally squinting.
But you know, that's Jared Messina showing off his stuff right there.
All right, so you see how they were in a single file coming in. No major dramas. Everyone made it through turns 1 and 2 and 3 clean. We had no spin outs, no accidents. Everyone being very, very careful here. But my goodness, what a race from Jaron Messina. Of all races to win, like we said, he won this one, scored more in this race than he did in his entire season. And that's how quickly tables can turn in racing.
Yeah, and you know what? It wasn't just like, a nail-biting thing. He dominated the race. Okay, here's the bit of dicing in mid-grid right now. Ooh, so that was the...
What you saw.
Yeah, the overshoot that we saw. I think that was the exit of turn 1. And you're at that at third gear, so you're doing probably, what, 100 plus over there with that turn in an elevation that flattens out. So from that, like, all that grip and that certain flat out gives the rear that just push, and sometimes that causes that understeer.
Yes, and all right, but look at that clean, very mature, controlled drive from Jaron Messina. You know, I wish for those who are watching it and not really appreciating it, that you know you will eventually see what we mean by how much is involved in making it look that easy. You know, it's really the hallmark of a professional to be able to do something that's very difficult, but make it look super easy. And speaking of those professionals, why don't we have a chat with them? And for that, we need to cross over to Judd. Judd, talk to us. Tell us what's going on over there with the drivers.
Well, James, we're here with the man who finished and crossed that finish line first, the fastest, Jaron Messina. Jaron, first of all, congratulations on an incredible race. Alam ko meron tayong bigger celebration, pero focus muna tayo on you right now. And, well, yung mga first races, di ba, you weren't able to participate. It was, but when you joined in, now you take a first place provisional, I know, pero double points. Gaano ka-importante yun for you?
Well, for me, I'm not really in the point standings, but a first race in Vios Cup is a very good result. Yeah.
And well, time to bring in some of your mga kakilala mo to eh. Kasing bilis mo, pero ladies and gentlemen, for the promotional class, 1, 2, 3, all from Toyota. Cebuanos represent. I want to ask Alan first. Alan, you've always been an advocate of putting the Cebuano on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And now you were able to do it as a team.
We were able to do it as a 1-2-3. So sweet, so sweet. Plus it's double points. We're going for the championship, baby.
Dati sabi mo hindi ka pinadaan ni Ian. Ngayon, dalawa na sila hindi nagpadaan sa'yo.
Oh my God. Lahat sila gustong i-bully ako this time. I'm the older guy. They're supposed to be giving the place to Tito.
I know everything's provisional at this point, especially after race 8, but I ask you, right now you might be looking at not just a race 8 or a race 9 win. You might be looking at a season win. Is that something you're thinking about? Baka hindi mo maiwasang isipin. What's going on right now with you, Ian?
Let me answer that first for
Okay,
him.
go ahead.
We want to rename him. Well, we want to rename him Ian Verstappen.
Oh, okay. Bagay bagay.
Ian Verstappen.
Oh, spokesperson na si Alan.
He's so happy. I know he's so happy. Let me touch his head. He's so happy.
Akala ko naman kung anong speech gagawin ng spokesperson mo. Happy lang. But, well, Jaron and Alan, I also want to ask you how siya happy. Oh, how do you feel about your teammate, maybe looking at the season win?
The championship. Anything for the team. Anything for this guy. I love this guy. I love this baby guy. Baby dinosaur.
Well, guys, congratulations once again. Toyota Team
1, 2,
Cebu.
3, Cebu! Yeah!
James and Gabby.
All right, and that was it. Wow, I didn't realize. Yes, Team Cebu, 1, 2, 3. My God, that's gonna be interesting when we talk about constructor. Manufacturer. Constructor. Sorry.
1, 2, 3, exactly.
Yeah.
Constructors Championship, and we were talking about Team Cebu just before that. We were saying how much effort they put into it to get down here and to race and to have a 1, 2, 3. What a result! And again, that translates later on into the showrooms, into the companies that they work for, because they've got that winning feeling,
Oh yes.
That is so contagious, Gab. I mean, like, especially now that we're finally coming back into this into the normal world where we're going back to work together and not work apart like we used to in the pandemic. That environment of winning is so important. It's great. They used to say, "Win on Sunday, sell on Monday," and I think that still applies here, because
literally applies
yes, it
here.
does, because even though you might not say, like some people say, "Oh, that came out from like the days of NASCAR and touring cars when it's so big that the people who see the car win, they want to buy that same car." That's where that saying came from. But the same can be applied for when you're so charged up, you're so motivated by your team winning. That comes across. The next customer that walks in to your showroom, God help them, they're not going to walk out not buying anything. They want to buy from winners. They want to associate with winners, and this is why we also do the Vios Cup.
Oh yes, yeah. It's gonna be quite interesting. I actually, we have the results, the season results for promotional sporting and super sporting, but we don't have for constructors. So it's gonna be like
yeah, crazy.
It's gonna be pretty exciting to see who wins it at the finals.
Yes, because if you try to do, let's say, just do some little basic math, right? So we had the 3 from Cebu. We had Ian Rosales, Alan Palacios, and Jaron Messina. That's, I can't do math on the fly like that. You know what we do?
That's why we're here.
All right, so now we have the sporting and super sporting class coming up. This is the, once again, the creme de la creme of our Vios Cup, Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup. You will see them on the grid.
Right now, they're on their outlap right now, and what happens at the outlap is basically you just want to check if the track is okay. Then you still have a warm-up lap with the pace car in front, and what the pace car sees is like to make sure that there aren't like any debris or anything that causes a race to stop, and that's when they give the go-ahead signal and forms all the way at the back.
Like, what do they normally, like in some cases, I understand, for puddles, raining and stuff like that. What else are they looking for? What's that lead car looking for when they're sweeping the track, so to speak?
Well, obviously, when you right after a race, sometimes you get into certain collisions or you get into certain incidents and like stuff starts flying off the track. May it not even just be parts of the car. It could also be, you know, from like the gravel track or even berms like that's a little more unusual. But when the berms, like the cement comes off or something like that, when it's been a really hard crash, or even the walls, because what people, some might not know, is that the tracks we have here have a certain grading system, and that allows certain cars to come in or certain international races to come in, because we're all governed by the FIA, and our local part of who's affiliated with the FIA is AAP, and that's who the guy who is responsible for licenses and everything, and they look at that. So all these things, they didn't just put, okay, I want to put like a wall over there, or I want to put tires over here, or there's a gravel trap here. These are like methodically thought just to be safe, you know, just to make all the racers safe. I've been in crashes wherein I've like hit the wall at, you know, almost 200, or you know, I've had so much incidents, and I've always come out walking out with my own 2 feet, and I've been okay because of like all the safety things that they have. And it's not just with the track, it's also with the car itself. You have the roll cage, you have the 4-point seat belt, sometimes 5-point, 6-point seat belt, and this is all up to standard. This is all like the best of the best, safest of the safest. You have your OMP suits, which is fire retardant. You have your helmets and everything, and they aren't scrimping. And Hans device, which really saves lives, literally. I had a really kind of nasty incident with the P1 wherein I was unconscious and everything. And for me, if I didn't have my Hans, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'm sure my neck snapped somewhere around the line with that, with the impact over there. But yeah, because so safety, one of the wonderful things about Toyota and also Tucson is that they don't scrimp on safety.
And it's great because anyone else that wants to follow suit, which, you know, obviously with the success of Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup, people will try to start to follow. They have to maintain that standard, otherwise, well, they're just not going to look very good at all. And like you said, we maintain FIA's standards here. So let's now check out the grid. If we can just get our timing devices connected. I'm not sure if it's an internet issue here, or here we go. So let's check out the grid. Starting, let's take this in alternates. In pole position is Jared Lloyd.
Yes, ooh, and it's Brian Cole. So I guess we're doing sporting and super sporting at the same time. Yes, we're mixing it up.
Exactly. So we're mixing up the grid. They're all in one grid, but they're racing 2 separate categories. And in second place, we have Lord Seno. And then Brian is in third place. And we've got
John Dizon, and at 5th, Inigo Anton.
Yes, he's leading the championship right now, but only by a point. And then we have Red Diwa in number 6.
Yes, who was our recent champion for race 7. Then we have Roy Sarmiento on 7th. 8th is Myla Alivia. 9th is Russell Cabrera. 10th, Daryl Garbes. 11th, Troy Montero. 12th, Joaquin Garrido. 13, Michael Kiliani Jordan. Yeah, Jordan team.
Racing team number 23.
Yeah. 14, Giro Garbes. 15, Miguel Quinones. 16 is Elise Menorca. And 17th is Daryl Taylor.
All right, I don't think Daryl was able to make it here for this round, but that is the mixed grid that you're looking at for the sporting and the super sporting class. So the best of the best will be racing mixed grid with the sporting class, which is just right underneath, one tier underneath. And sometimes we see sporting class drivers actually beat some of the super sporting. So we're going to see some talent start shining here very soon. So 15 cars on the grid. That's a pretty healthy grid. Or should I say 17 cars in the grid, not 15, 17 cars in the grid. That's a lot of cars.
That's a big grid. That's going to be a fun grid to drive on. Yeah, so a lot of people are going to be focused on, obviously, the top 3. But what you have to consider also is that since we have sporting, you could be focused on the top 3, but overall, but maybe the number 1 of sporting is on the 6th or the 7th. So it's going to be interesting.
We'll be doing our best to keep you up to date on that. As long as our timers stick around long enough during the race, we'll be able to keep you up to date on who's doing what, especially when it comes to different class levels, because it's pretty hard to follow. Yeah, sometimes somebody like Gab said, somebody might be in 6th place, but might be leading their own category. So we'll try to keep you up to date with that as much as possible. These drivers here, of course, vying for the glory, the prestige of winning the Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022. There's also a Vios up for grabs as well as prize money.
Gosh. Been my dream. This is the only series, hands down. If you win, you don't just win prize money, which is already a rarity in racing. Usually you just get a swanky trophy, which is what I usually get.
And oil. Sometimes tires,
and
if
whatever
you're lucky,
sponsor,
if there's a sponsor.
yes. But this isn't just, oh man, it's a whole brand new Vios.
And then there's like 100,000, right, for the super sporting class and stuff like that for the winner. And then, so there's definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say you could make a business out of it. I mean, I wouldn't say that would be a good business model to come in and try to win the Vios Cup and make money out of it, but it will certainly cover your costs. And that in racing is as good as making money.
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Woo.
But anyway, these guys here, I mean, we've crowned how many champions? We crowned one in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think we missed one in 2020. Then in 2021, we had another one. So, we've crowned so many champions, and these champions have moved on. And one of the champions have moved on to bigger, better things, some of them racing internationally, some of them moving on to coaching. Like you got Alan Uy as well, who's now, he's doing a lot of coaching here in the super sporting class as well. And these are great to have talents like them who've won the Vios Cup before, and then they lend their talents to the younger generation.
Yeah. So it's not just Alan, like quite a few of them have been coaching right now.
Yes, I know it's Paul and Dublao as well is there. We've got people who didn't necessarily join the Vios Cup but started as coaches and brought wealth of experience. We got Roland Hermoso. We got the Ramirez brothers here.
Oh yes, you felt the Ramirez
I
brothers.
felt
the Ramirez love right there. Yeah.
Everything's up for grabs, right, Louis? And so here we are with this is just a warm-up lap.
Okay, so basically what happens in a warm-up lap is that you check on the track conditions. Obviously, when you're there, you're the racer. You either warm up your brakes, warm up your tires, but there's always a fine line also. You can't warm it up too much, or else by the end of the race, it would have overheated. So there is that fine line. So that's when the track conditions come to play, when it's this hot. When it's raining, you have to see which line's clean, which doesn't have that much rubber marks. There's just so much to see and so much that goes on in a warm-up lap. Some people just think of it as like, okay, I'm just watching something wherein like they just want to get into formation. No, at a driver's mind, they're already thinking about strategies, like how do I overtake? What are the openings? Where's the best shot? So it's crazy. Even lining up, you could just like that fraction of like a degree of an angle. You could either do you attack mid? If you're in mid grid, do you attack like in the middle, or do you go to the outer? You go to the inner line. That's so exciting.
That's why it's probably better to just sort of leave all the strategy to your team and you just focus on winning every single race like it was the only race that you're ever going to join. Just keep on winning, and you can't go wrong with that. But it's a lot easier said than done, and right now I'm sure that what's going through the heads of the drivers, you've got people like Inigo Anton, who's leading the championship with 99 points, but John Dizon, who's a very formidable opponent, is right ahead of him in like one spot ahead. At he's 98 in the championship against 99, but they're one place behind each other. So Inigo's right behind John. John has been an incredible talent. He was one of those drivers also that was sponsored. And then Steve Bicknell, I think I've told this story before, but Steve Bicknell had basically won the promotional class championship or the sporting class championship. And instead of continuing, he was a privateer. He found local talent. He found John.
Wow.
He found basically, John Dizon, and he supported him, gave him his car, and now if he turns into a champion himself.
Oh, that's an amazing story.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
This actually, what's beautiful about Toyota is that they formed a new way of like the racing culture, because this was never here around when I was here. I mean, how would I have wished for like people to like come up and like patrons to sponsor? And it's not because I'm a company, I want something out of you. It's just because of the love of the sport.
This is Steve Bicknell's motivation. Yeah, he's a foreign national, a British guy, raced in many different sort of series around England, and he was telling me about his historical racing and stuff. He enjoyed it. It's a great way to meet people, especially if you're a foreigner here. We've had a lot of foreigners. We've had Art de Jong. I still follow him on Facebook. He was one of our first. He joined many years. He was racing in Le Mans. I mean, he's now moved into racing an LM2, I think.
That's no joke.
No, it's serious stuff.
That's serious stuff.
It's very serious. So these are just some of our. But when they come here, it gives them a great gateway or opening to meet new people, get involved in a different circle and stuff like that. Okay, we got car number 99, Jared Loy. He's taking the lead, and it's car number 43, Lord Senyo, in second place, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to hang on to that much longer, as he looks like he has been already passed, but the pass will not be considered a pass unless they come out of the first corner ahead of that, and he makes that pass stick. So Jared Loy right now is leading this pack with a clear advantage over the rest of the field. Let's check out the cameras here as they come into the... Yes, they're coming down into the corkscrew over here. They're all pretty clean, coming through, no major incidences. So we have two cars side by side there. That can usually get pretty tricky, but it looks like everybody has come out unscathed. I hope that by saying that I haven't jinxed anybody, because it looks so far that everybody's made it out of that nice and clean. We will be able to tell you what position swaps have happened in just a little while. Too much action going on right now to call it out live, but Jared Loy is leading this pack, and it is going to be a very close fight as they come into a Katia gap.
Yes, Gerald Loy, wow, such a strong takeoff right there. Sadly, Lord Seno didn't have the same amount of luck. Two cars overtook him over there at the straight. I believe it was Brian Foy and John Dizon who was able to move up to second and third. Let us double check by the time they hit the first part.
Yes, absolutely. So we did notice that Lord had a bit of a not the best start out there. He did get eaten up in the first corner. Couldn't see it as it happened, but as they came out, it was Brian Foy that took that second spot, and he's right on the tail of Jared Loy. 33. Pardon me. Car number 33 is Inigo Anton. What a jump.
Inigo Anton out on third without even the first lap finishing. Man, that just goes to show the skill of Inigo Anton right
And what's
there.
important is he is ahead of John Dizon, because John Dizon is his closest competitor in this championship. So he needs to finish ahead of John Dizon if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive and well, and he's doing that so far right now. John Dizon is right behind him, but don't sleep on John. John is very, very experienced. He's got a lot of talent as well, and you know what? He's going to give Inigo a run for his money. And one thing I like about this rivalry right now is Inigo is one of the youngest drivers we've got here. Not the youngest, but one of the youngest drivers we had. And to see him grow through the ranks against formidable competition, this is only going to make his career a very, very promising one indeed. Because you can't, if he just won against people who weren't really pushing him to his limits, but people like John Deason, Gerald Lloyd, these guys have really pushed him.
Yes, you know what? He has a bright future ahead of him. Obviously, what we're looking at right now isn't just like any series. This is the creme de la creme. This is the super sporting. They're the ones at the very top. Then the sporting is somewhere in the mid-grid as well. Red Diwa also went up a spot, so Lord Seno sadly from second. You know, that's how important those takeoffs are. You know, all the way from second, he's at 6, but don't scratch him off just yet. He's won championships. So I'm sure he's going to be a formidable opponent, and he's going to try to get himself back up there.
We have a safety car.
Woo!
The safety cars come out.
Let's try to see what happened right over here.
Gab is out there hanging over the edge.
Okay, I think it is a stall because it's all the way at the middle of the straightaway.
Okay, in the middle of the straightaway, so they have to make sure they clear that car out before we can go racing again. This is good news and bad news. We got the tow truck here from the AAP pulling up pretty fast to get that car out of the way. The good news here, well, the bad news is, of course, well, all the lead that has been built up or any advantage that people have gained is now back to square one. But that's also the good news. It's a good news for us as the audience here and spectators and race fans watching this. This is going to be very exciting because we get to watch a whole new start.
Yes.
So that's Daryl Garbus.
So sadly, Daryl Garbus's race has come to an end for race 8. He does have race 9. The good news is, you know, he's leaving the race early, so there's more time for the mechanics to see what the problem is.
That's true.
Yes. So this is another thing about racing, wherein you're doing the start. So for the people who aren't much who are new into racing, so the safety car is dictating the pace. Obviously, the safety car is there to make it slow enough that no one gets into an accident. There aren't any overtaking during the yellow flag and when the safety car is out. And when the lights come off of the safety car, signals that the race will begin after that lap.
And so, just so people understand what's going on with that, when you say the lights go out, the lights will go out around the final lap, which means they know that safety car is going in. Safety car will pull in just before the main straight. It'll go back into the pits, but nobody is allowed to pass until you cross that main start-finish line. So it'll be up to Gerald Lloyd to control the pace. Once he knows the safety car is going in, he controls the pace. He makes timpla, because that's what it's all about. That's the skill of a rolling start. Is you make timpla your how much, when are you going to get on the gas, basically, because nobody's allowed to overtake you until you cross that line. So your momentum's your friend there. You got to play with that momentum. You got to get them sort of this accordion effect where they don't know when you're going to get on that gas. There's a whole mind game going on there.
Yes.
And it's a totally different skill than a standing start, correct?
Yes, definitely. And it's quite tricky. Some people are good at it. Some people are bad at it. That's why with racing, you just have to learn all these different skill sets. Wherein it's not just like being good at standing start, which is reaction times. This one, it's all about the templas, what James was saying right now. Wherein you have to have that accordion, and you know, sometimes it's what's best is like right when you have to force the person behind you to brake, and then you accelerate, and then you get that momentum. Because what you want is to get obviously as much space between you and the person behind you. And to do that, you're dictating the pace, but also with the person behind you. I mean, if they get that extra momentum while you're braking and they're still accelerating and they get to accelerate in full, I mean, by the time you reach the straightaway, you'll be doing what, maybe 160 an hour, 150 plus, and they're doing like 165. So they have that few more horsepower against you, and when it hits the first turn, that's it.
And as you said, there are different skills to master, and that means to say, you know, you get people who have got great skill in a standing start may not have the same skill in a rolling start, which makes it very exciting for us race fans because we get to see basically, they say the most exciting part of a race is the start, and in this one we're going to get two so far. And you know what, the other thing I'm very appreciative of? We get to see the Supra.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we get to see the Supra driven in anger around the track. I mean, it's not a 10/10, it's not a full boil, of course. It's still a safety car, but you can still see it in action, making those curves, accelerating out, and just watching the sun fall on the beautiful lines of that car.
What I would give to be in that safety car, driving that safety car.
Have you driven that car yet?
Not yet.
Oh, you got to make some sympathy with the guys.
Oh, yes.
And do yourself a weekend borrow because that car makes you feel like something very, really special. Oh, look, I think the lights are out already, and can you see what Gerard's doing? Look how far he's bunching up that grid. Now, a lot of controversy usually surrounds safety car restarts because you do have limits of how slow you can go, right? I mean, Lewis Hamilton was heavily criticized for one of the safety car periods that he was leading and how he handled it. But it's really, really tricky. Look how much gap Gerard's pushing. And every time he comes out of the corner, he's going to gas it a bit, but he's still got to make sure that he balances this out because it's only going to count when he crosses his line now.
Yes. So it's
it looks like he's already full boil now.
Yeah, he actually started full boil on the big loop.
He did. But that's his choice.
Yes, that's his strategy
now,
right there.
If he could see that later on, Brian Ko or Inigo Anton were getting closer to him, then he could pull the dummy again right before the start-finish line and brake again, forcing them to brake and then getting on the gas. But it looks like he got it done, like you said, in the double A and was able to speed out. But look, I think we already have some action brewing out there. The cameras can go back. We saw a possible overtake maneuver. Well, I think we missed it. We'll go back to it later on. But what's important now is Gerard Lloyd has maintained his lead. Brian Ko in second and Inigo Anton there still in third. No changes in the top three.
No changes in the top three. Actually, what Gerard Lloyd did was to his advantage. Maybe some were thinking, oh, he's gonna start accelerating full throttle after the second bend. The double left. But he did it all the way at the big loop. That surprised some. And look at this gap right here.
Yeah, because all it takes is you look down, you check your instruments because you're still under the safety car period. You go, okay, did I make sure my aircon's off or something? Oh, where'd he go? It's like that, and then he's gone. But yeah, clever and good driving from Gerard Lloyd to maintain the lead. He needs this, of course. He needs the points. He is currently sitting in third spot in the championship with 84 points. So a win here would give him about 124 points, which is a significant bump in his championship battle. Inigo Anton and John Dizon are just ahead of him at 99 and 98 respectively. So you can really close the gap if he wins this race.
Yes, because definitely with that, if you win first, obviously you would get 10 points ahead of everyone else. So 10 points is a lot.
It's definitely a lot, especially in this close championship right now. But keep your eyes on the two young drivers, Inigo Anton and John Dizon, right behind them, because those guys are fighting for a championship. They're 1 point apart, and there's so much up for grabs as we head into this final race. We're right now in race number 8. Race number 9 still up for grabs. There's another 40 points up there. But right now, you do not want to give any advantage. Oh, we got a nice side-by-side action here. 73 versus... this is a very, very tricky spot. Lost it.
Okay, 63. 63 is
Myla
Joaquin
Eliva
Garrido
versus Joaquin Garrido.
Wow. Okay, why don't we try focusing on the sporting class? So at our leader so far for the series is Roy Sarmiento. And it is a tie basically with Troy Montero, both 75 points.
Wow.
And let's see where they are at the grid. If we could go back to the lap monitor. Okay, so number 27, so he's all the way at 6th place. If he actually stays at 6th, he'll be the race leader for race 9, which will make it quite interesting.
So he'll go back to 6th.
Yeah.
in the reverse grid.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
But what's interesting here, what's very interesting as far as if it plays out this way, is the story of Troy Montero moving from the celebrity class into a sporting class and potentially winning the championship. Can you imagine that storyline?
Yes.
That he went from this celebrity racer, just sort of another pretty face, so to speak. I mean, this is not how Toyota sees it, but I'm just saying how some people see it. They go, oh, well, just another pretty face. Okay, but that pretty face, he went to the promotional class, the sporting class, and if he wins the championship in the sporting class, this will be just such a celebration for him, and I'll be very happy for him because I've watched his growth in this sport. I've watched how he came in as a pretty much, a newbie into, well, he's fighting for the championship now.
Yeah, and it's not just like the promotional class. He's fighting for the sporting class championship. And what's nice about this, it's not like, okay, I won once, I won twice. This is for the season finals. That means it's consistency. Consistency and being at the top three, finishing every race. And that's what got him to 75 points, which is equal to Roy Sarmiento.
You know, there's a lot. We keep talking about this in the preparation for your foundation in racing, and part of the thing that the double points does is, they say anyone can perform, but not everyone performs under the bright lights, so to speak. So, when they talk about it, like in fights and stuff like that, once you're like the main event and all the eyes are on you, well, this is the same equivalent for racing, because it's like, this is your moment. You're now, the bright lights are on, so to speak, because double points. Can you handle that pressure? It's a totally different pressure when you're coming in knowing that you've got to make it stick for this weekend. You cannot afford any mistakes. That's your version of the bright light moment.
Yeah, that whole clutch thing. Ooh. Wow.
Oh,
all right.
Wow, Inigo Anton.
Ooh, okay.
Inigo Anton.
Some tough overtaking and maneuvering over there. It did not stick. Brian definitely knows that Inigo's right behind him.
Can't blame a kid for trying, You never know your luck in a big city, and Inigo Anton is, what amazes me about this kid is this guy's racing simultaneously so many different series.
Yeah, he's doing the endurance. I think is he in V1 as well?
I think he's in the V1. I think he's also in that Radical series.
He's in the Radical.
If it's got wheels, he's racing it.
And it's tricky, huh? Not a lot of people can do all that, because like each car drives differently. Each car drives, you have to understand, not just with the rear wheel and open wheel and everything. The lines are different, how you attack the car, and especially when you go to a Vios, there's a certain finesse to it. And coming from a Radical or coming from a B1, it's so easy to overdrive this car. And going back to a front wheel drive, there's a lot of finesse and patience, and when the car rolls and everything, you have to catch that. You have to understand the way the car rolls and the suspension, and there's just so much to think about. Yeah, the weight transfer, the contact catch. Oh wow. And he's doing an awesome job. Actually, that's even more spectacular for me. It's like being able to perform in every series you get into simultaneously.
Hats off, really. I mean, and then imagine how well-rounded you become after that. When you walk out, drive out into the real world, to the big pond, as they say, you've got so much experience in so many different categories. But you're right. Driving, let's say, one of those open-wheel racers, or those basically kit cars with big engines in them, there's so much difference. These cars are street legal. I mean, we have to keep reminding people that this car can be driven every day on public roads.
It's actually what you see with lightening and without all the comforts that you have when you're driving the streets, because you want it the lightest. And obviously some safety measures with the roll cage and everything, but take everything out, put it back to basics. This is literally what you see on the streets. This could be your Uber, this could be your Grab, this could be your taxi, this could be your mom's car, your brother's car, or even your car, So what's amazing about this, take it to the streets, take it to the track. It's the same car.
Okay, we're hearing a lot of cheering going on downstairs in the paddock. We're not sure exactly what they're screaming about because we're getting different angles from different, there's battles brewing pretty much everywhere up and down the grid. And the battle that we're watching here is the battle for second place. Inigo Anton and Brian Koh.
Yeah, Brian Koh. And what's fascinating about it, so the first like 1 to 5 is actually people from Super Sporting. Then 6th place is Roy Sarmiento in sporting class, leading the pack. And so far he was tied with Troy Montero. So far he's gonna be advantageous coming out of this race if he remains at 6th. And what's nice about being 6th, you get slingshot all the way to 1st on your next race. So this is where actually would be an amazing strategy, because if he goes up and another person, which is Russell Cabrera, so far Russell is all the way at 6th in the points, though he's 51 points isn't that far.
It's not that far,
Yeah,
but
at all.
the thing is he's going to take away from, he's in between Troy Montero or in
Yeah, he's gonna take away a lot, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like, if Roy Sarmiento stays in 6th and Russell isn't able to overtake Royce, he's the only one that's gonna get slingshot to 1st place while Roy stays at 7th. And that's how the story goes. That's where things are interesting. So do you defend your place and stay at 6th? Or do you try to go to 5th and you'll be 2nd place, and there's a chance for Russell Cabrera to overtake the person right behind him and slingshot himself in 1st as well.
Absolutely, too much for me to chew on
wow.
right now. But yes, you can see how many different things you have to think about as you come into this with reverse grids and ballasts and championship points and double points and all this kind of jazz. And this is why it makes it so fascinating, because it ain't over till the not even till the checkered flag comes down, until the stewards sign off and the race director signs off finally on that piece of paper, makes an official result. So you just got to go out there and do your absolute best, which these drivers are doing right now. Jared Loy, he's got a 1.8 second lead over the rest of the pack. Looks like this guy's going to be able to, well, I don't want to say that because we've got 5 laps to go, anything can happen, but he's driving a pretty consistent race here right now. The ones that are really, I'm personally watching because it's so close. Oh, jeez. Red Diva looks like he overtook John Dizon.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Red Diva was our champion a while ago. Oh! And it looks like there's some battle right over here. It could even be a 3-way battle. Okay. Let us see number 23 and number 6. So number 23 is Michael Kiliani Jordan.
Oh, side by side. Oh,
and he sticks it so far.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be another left-hander right there.
Wait.
Yep.
Wait, oh, no,
Yep.
Troy's behind now. Troy's behind.
Yeah, I think so far, yeah, he's already at the big loop. Wow. That's some interesting driving right there.
You see this, oh yeah, this is tough for Troy because Troy really needs the points right now. Roy Sarmiento is up there in 6th place.
He was already, I wonder what happened because he was already up in 3rd in his class, right behind Russell Cabrera. And now he went all the way down to like Michael Kiliani overtaking him, which is 2 places down.
Yes, it is. Oh man, there's just, I'm trying so much to watch here. I'm not sure who to put my eyes on, but
yeah, which class to put it on
exactly.
as well. You know, as we're looking at, it's 4 laps to go, and obviously when we were talking about a while ago, things change, not just with the track condition. Obviously, when people start driving around the track and people start overshooting, sometimes the track gets dirty. But not just that, the tires start to overheat over here. The rubber of the tires start to, rub off. So it gets trickier. Driving style changes. I'm not saying that's what happened to Troy, but that could be one of the factors as well.
It could be, and car 55 and car 33, that's Troy,
Yes.
that's Brian Cole, and Inigo Anton. Inigo is right on the bumper.
Yes, he is breathing
He's
down
really
his neck.
breathing down. He's really almost every corner. He's having a little look down the inside. He's showing Brian where he is. He's like, you know, it's a matter of time. This has got to be weighing down on Brian's. You know, he's got to be checking his rearview mirror every single time, seeing Inigo there. Lots of mind games going on. Can Inigo pull it off? What Inigo needs to do is, well, obviously win the race. That's the goal of everybody, but he wants to put as much distance between him and John Dizon. But here's a little plot twist again, or something else new to think about, is that John Dizon, he being his closest competitor, he wants to put enough distance between the two of them, right? So he wants to get those points, and that's a very smart move. But as it stands now, if, let's say, Inigo wins the race, let's just say he wins the race, and John stays where he is, John will start way ahead of him in the next race, right?
That
He'll
is
start
true.
in second place, and then Inigo will start in sixth. So you can see how it's just, it ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What I find fascinating about Inigo, even though he ends up sixth, he is so good at overtaking. And sometimes, will that be enough? That barrier of like you being in first, him being in sixth. Because from what I've seen, especially from this race, you know, it didn't even take him one lap to overtake everyone else.
It didn't, and that's car number, is that 81?
81 and 33.
That's Inigo. Inigo's 33. Inigo's 33, 81. Red Diwa. Did Red just take? Red just overtook Inigo. Red Diwa just overtook Inigo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, 81. Red has climbed his way back to the top. So he is in second place, right? Is he second or third?
No, he's in third place because Inigo is battling for a second with Brian
so
Cole, but just dropped the spot.
He was surprised. So that's where it gets tricky. Wherein sometimes when you're so focused at the person in front, where Inigo was in focus with Brian Cole, sometimes you don't notice the guy in the back who's just waiting for an opportunity. Obviously, he's seeing you dice here and there. And whenever you dice, you go away from the optimal line, which is that racing line, and you get a little slower. So if he's just waiting for that momentum and he's just sticking to the racing line, that small opening, he could just slingshot himself and squeeze right in the middle, which gets it a lot more tricky because there are 3 laps to go. So if Inigo wants to try to get back to his second place or even third place, he's gonna have to do it soon.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, I'm sure that he's probably, I can imagine how he's feeling over there because again, the points are so valuable right now. But the good news for him is he's still a little bit ahead of his closest competitor, but I have not done the math on what would happen if Jared Loy wins. He will be ahead of him at this stage.
I think he will be ahead because it's more than 10 points. Basically, Jared Loy is 15 points ahead. Sorry, Inigo is 15 points ahead of Gerald Loy. So he still will be ahead, but it's a close call.
Yeah, because it depends where Inigo finishes. At the moment, he's going to finish at this spot. He's in fourth place.
Yeah. You know what? I think who's thanking Red Diwa right now is Brian Cole because of what happened. You know, obviously Inigo is off Brian Cole's back, and it's given Brian a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, and John Dizon's right behind Inigo Anton. So definitely championship hopes still alive for both of them. But it's going to just be a little bit tougher because now he's got closer competitors that he has to worry about coming into the last race. But yep, first order of business is he needs to get past Red Diwa, but he's only got 2 laps to go, just a little bit less actually.
Yeah, with Red Diwa, Red Diwa is at 72 points overall. And you know what? He's been flying so far this whole, like, he won the last race, which is race 7. He's doing quite well as well, which is double points. And obviously race 9 hasn't happened yet, so everything is pretty much up for grabs.
Everything is pretty much up for grabs, and people are just doing everything they can to get this finish this weekend on top.
Yes, and with the last 2 laps, if you want to do any moves, now's the time. So that's where it gets into the racer's mind. Do I try to risk something? You know, is it okay to do this and risk? Yeah, risk basically either winning it or just staying comfortable and waiting for the next race. So far, Jared Loy has had a stellar race. He's way ahead. He could actually conserve the car a little bit because it's what, how many?
1.69.
1.69 seconds away. And a lot of people think, oh gosh, 1.69, that's nothing, that's like a snap. No, that's everything in racing. That's called breathing room right there.
Okay, we're hearing already the screams, the groans, the moans from downstairs. That means it's really coming to a final lap finish between these drivers. You know, there's just we're trying to do math on the fly as watching the race to see where people are in terms of championships. I think we should just focus on one thing and not everything at all, because our minds are just going to blow up here. There's just so much going on, but so much excitement, so much up for grabs. John Dizon there is the, I don't know if it seems like he's struggling a little bit, because we know John's a race winner as well. So I don't know what struggles he's had, but he has not been able to sort of push out of that spot.
Well, he will be in second place later if this lineup continues all the way to the end. He will be in second place, and maybe that is the advantage that he wants to get. But what I'm fascinated about is in sporting class, Roy Sarmiento is still in 6th. And with Royce followed by Russell Cabrera in 2nd, Myla Alivia in 3rd. That's your top 3 right there for sporting class. And for the double KO goodie for him is that he's in 6th, which will definitely slingshot him all the way to 1st place. You know, starting at 1st at race 9, which is a wonderful place to be in.
It
you know,
is.
If I'm not in 1st, I'd love to be in 6th if I were him. Yeah, because it's not just like him. He's already in 1st in his class, and he'll be 1st overall later. That's an amazing. That's like a 5-lead buffer between you and the guy behind you.
Yeah, I think something similar happened in the F1 weekend with Magnussen.
Oh,
yes. He got, but even though he gets, let's say, all right, the order restores by the 1st corner, he just has to finish ahead of Troy Montero. That's going to be his goal, is to finish ahead of Troy and then take the championship. It doesn't matter if you win the championship by 1 or 10 or 15 or 20 points, just winning it is what matters. And that's what's on Gerard Lloyd's mind at the moment, is winning this championship.
Yep, definitely. Well, with going back to sporting class, actually the top 3 of sporting class, which is Roy Sarmiento, Troy Montero, and Joaquin Garrido, are 1 point away from each other. So Roy Sarmiento and Troy are tied. Joaquin Garrido is literally just 1 point behind.
And it's over. Checkered flag is out, ladies and gentlemen. We got Jared Loy in the top spot. Brian Coe in 2nd place. And followed by 3rd place, it is Red Diwa. Inigo Anton just slipping out of a podium position. John Dizon right behind him, his closest competitor in the championship. We're going to have to do a lot of math, a lot of calculating here, Gab, as we head into the final race, race number 9. But so far, what a great race from the sporting and the super sporting class of the Toyota Gazoo Racing 2022 Vios Cup.
Wow, definitely that was an amazing race. You saw them, they were at the edge, but you know, no one lost their cool. No unnecessary overtakes right over there. Amazing.
Except I guess, you know, Inigo will lost a spot that he had We're not sure why, but of course that's going to be something that he's going to be pondering over as he pulls in here. But again, the only thing that's important right now is the championship. So I think he's going to go back with his team. They're going to huddle. I'm sure his dad's here with him, his family's here with him. He's got his coaches, he's got his team. And I'm sure they're going to sit down and say, look, how do we win this championship? And once they do the math, once the stewards are finished, because again, these are provisional results, so we don't even want to do the math per se, because we might do the math and then later on, oh well,
Yeah,
this
it might
guy,
be different.
yeah, it might be different. Let's just go by what we get handed just before the next race, what race control hands us as the official results, and then we'll do our math then and see what happens. But one thing's guaranteed: you do not want to go anywhere until the end of the day. You want to keep your device near you. If you're watching on a big TV, stay there, get some popcorn out, get your lunch out, get yourself comfortable, because you don't want to miss what's coming up next.
Yes, you know what? That's amazing. You know, now you could actually watch racing at the comfort of your home. And this is live.
This is live local racing.
Wow, it's something never heard of. This
No.
is only like a pipe dream back in the day. You know, if you wanted, you had to drive all the way here. Obviously, there's a lot more. You hear the sounds, you hear the scents and everything. But there's also that beauty of the comfort of your home. You know, right beside her, like you could be at your favorite couch or your bed. You know, eating popcorn with your pets and stuff like that.
Not just that, you could also be like us, download the MyLaps monitor, and then you get live timing as well.
Yes.
But you know what you won't get? You won't get a chance to speak to the drivers, because the only one that gets to do that is Jut. So let's turn over to Jut and find out what's going on there with the driver. Jut, are you with us? Okay, we're not Kuya Darbs first.
Kuya Darbs.
Let's check in with Kuya Darbs first. Kuya Darbs, what's the pulse out there like?
Yo! James, I'm here right now sa VIP tent natin, and having a coffee. So kung sakaling gusto nyo pang mas mainitan, you can always grab a coffee. Hot, pwede din cold. But the reason why we're here is actually because new Light Ace. So kitang-kita nyo naman this one right here is actually a food truck conversion. Kitang-kita nyo, this is the new Light Ace by Toyota. Now, if in case meron kang business that is not a food truck, pwede mo din itong gawing maging patient transport vehicle. Pwede din gawin yung panel van conversion kung sakaling meron kang e-com business. Ganda, pwede yan sa mga deliveries. Of course, there's also chances wherein you can have a cabin chassis conversion para sa mga telco business. Pwede din gawing patrol van conversion for shuttle service. And of course, kung sakaling may farm ka man, pwedeng gawing agricultural conversion for farm to market use. So, as you can see, ang bagong Toyota Light Ace, kasosyo sa asenso at katuwang sa negosyo. Visit your nearest dealership to know more and to place your order. And of course, hindi lang yan ang pupuntahan natin ngayon, because we're gonna be checking out 2 new cars of Toyota. O medyo lalakarin, but yeah, let's see. Check this out right now. Papakita ko na, I'm super excited to show you this. Guys, sa mga hindi nakakaalam at sa mga hindi alam, where did the Yaris came from? Actually, Yaris came from Rally Championship. Hindi na tayo abot. Okay, sige. It was developed for the World Rally Championship, where they emerged as champion. Now, after the win, Toyota decided to actually build one dito sa road. So that's the reason why meron tayong GR Yaris. And of course, the highlight of the show, isa din sa mga highlights natin ngayon, is the all-new. Yan, papakita muna natin ang GR Yaris and how awesome. Ito po yung street version, which is, this is the street version, which is you're seeing right now. This is also known as the most coveted rally bred icon. O, dito naman tayo sa kabila. Tingnan naman natin ang Toyota GR86 color red. Super nice car. And this is the newest of the GR Performance. Now guys, if ever you're interested to see these beauties personally, you are welcome to check them out. At katulad ko, for sure, we're gonna be in love with these awesome beauties. Back to you guys.
Grabe, Kuya Darbs. Parang ako ang nabentahan mo ng highlight ace. Pupunta ako dyan mamaya sa baba.
Wow, Gab. I remember wasn't that long ago you'd be salivating over the GR Yaris. Now,
I am.
light ace.
I actually tried.
The tita in you is coming out. Uy, pwede pang negosyo yan. Dati si Gab, wow, I could race that car now. Uy, pwede mag-food cart business.
Pwede nga.
But there you go. Just show that Toyota have something for everybody, no matter what stage you are in your life. Let's go over the jut and find out what the drivers are saying. Jut.
Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Gabby and Darbs, we are here with a man who crossed the finish line the fastest here in race number 8. Of course, we had the sporting class and the super sporting class. With us, Gerard Loy. Gerard, first of all, a big win because yung dalawang races natin today, double the points and provisional. It's provisional at this point, but since you crossed that finish line fastest, you are now ahead in championship points. You know it? Alam mo ba yun when you were out there on the track?
Next race pa. So, yun, antayin natin.
Alright, well, tama naman no. But right now, professional, but you're up by 5 against the next competitor, which is Inigo Anton. I also want to ask you, kanina kasi napansin nila James and Gabby, when that safety car came out, it looked like you were working a strategy. Ano yung ginusto mong diskarte coming out of that situation?
Yeah, since tayo yung lead car, control natin yung pace. So, namatay ilaw. Kailangan talagang masurpresa iba para magkaroon ng gap. Yun yung plano dapat yun. So, okay naman.
Worked out well. Okay, one last question, Gerard. It was a big win. Sabi ko nga, although professional, we emphasize that. Pero I can sense na yung emotions mo, you're trying to level it. Kasi tulad nung sinabi mo kanina, lumamang ka pero it's not yet done. The job is not yet done. What's going through your mind right now? Your emotions?
Next race, clean race lang. So, kasi sigurado maging mainit eh. Dikit-dikit yung championship points. Tapos, yung mga drivers nasa championship mode din. So, expect na natin lahat.
Alright, thank you so much and congratulations, Gerard. Boy, what a race that was, and we are here as well. Joining us is the man who crossed that finish line after Gerard. Here's Brian Ko. Sir Brian, congratulations. Provisional second dito sa 8th race natin. You came into this week and you were medyo nasa baba of our championship points race. But what were you trying to achieve in the races that we had here this weekend?
We just want to achieve the best result for the team, and if I could help out Gerard, I'll help him out for the championship.
There you go. Well, definitely a successful one for you. Not only did Gerard take the lead at this point, provisional, but you also put yourself in contention now. Yung gap before this weekend, dumikit. And one more race, how do you plan to attack that final contest?
Just keep it clean, and syempre, the double points is important. So, it's important to finish for the points.
All right. I know you're gonna need a lot of rest for that, sir. Thank you and congratulations again, Sir Brian. More cars coming in dito sa ating winner's lane, and of course, all the cars are gonna pass here. We'll also try to talk to some of those who did not have the most ideal finishes kasi nga this race is important to everyone because it's double the points in races 8 and 9, and that's why we're seeing a lot of shifts in terms of our championship points and standings. But as Gerard said, there's still one more race, and if a lot changed here in race 8, we expect a lot more to possibly change in race 9. We're just trying to get our racers ready. As we mentioned earlier, it's one of the hottest highest temperatures probably that we've raced in here in the Vios Cup this year, and that's why our drivers understandably a little bit more exhausted. Well, we have with us here Inigo Anton. Inigo, I know that you wanted to add more points coming from this race. You entered the weekend, or at least the races 8 and 9, as the top-seeded driver in terms of championship points. You kind of gave away that lead at this point. Professional, is there a strategy though that we're trying to work here, or do you give the credit to everyone who was just fast on the track?
Well, definitely it was a really tough race today. And yeah, I gotta say congrats to Gerard and Brian. They were incredibly quick today and very hard to pass. But at least, you know, it evened out from yesterday since they had a not so good race yesterday. So I was able to gain points there. Now they gain points back. But at least coming into the last race, I'm actually starting ahead of them. And upside from what this is, I was able to beat my championship rival this race with John Deason. I'm about 5 points ahead of him, but he's gonna be starting the last race, you know, ahead of me. So it's gonna be pretty tough, and you know, it's definitely not over yet. Have to wait.
One more race to go, and like you said, if ever that the points that we have professional right now become official, then you're gonna be sitting in second. The guy ahead of you, Gerard Loy, up by 5. The guy next to you, like you said, who do you consider, John, maybe an arch rival?
Well, definitely, you know, not an arch rival, but you know, an incredible rival. You don't need to be, you know, have a negative relationship with them. And everything. You know, actually, we were teammates in karting back then under the same team of Team Edgeport. And you know, to be racing here now again as teammates with Team Avengers, it's a wonderful thing. And you know, this rivalry has really pushed us to the limit, and I think it's also been very exciting this whole way.
I can just imagine how there might be very little room for error in race number 9, aka the final race of TGR Vios Cup 2022. How do you plan to attack the course or the track for that final one?
Well, I just got treated the same way as I treated the last 8 races. Just keep going for it and always keep clean. You know, having a DNF will just basically destroy the championship. So it's about keeping clean first, then trying to make the moves where you can. And hopefully it will pay out for us in the end.
Inigo, I know you're trying to get some rest. We'll let you get that, buddy. Congratulations again. Good luck later. So we've spoken to some of our super sporting racers, James and Gabby. Our sporting class racers are just about to come in, but we actually have some more racers here. So while we wait for them to get settled down, again, you know, the moment they step out of the car, you just can really tell how draining, how exhausting being on that track. Imagine just 12 laps, and I mean just 12 because like you mentioned earlier, there are endurance races that run for 8 hours, but it's a pretty tricky weather that we're having here because we started this out. When we opened this entire program, this entire day on the track, it was really, really sunny and very, very hot. But now it's starting to get gloomy here in Clark, and we already feel some raindrops, light rain starting to come into play. So we'll monitor the situation here in terms of our weather because we do have one more race coming up for promotional, sporting, and super sporting class. And of course, before we get to that, we'll also have our autocross, the final leg of autocross. So here, we're getting things here now, and if we may request Mr. Red Diwa to join us here. Also a spectacular race for Red here. Congratulations, Red. Provisional 3rd in this race. You passed John Dizon, you passed Inigo Anton, and it was as if no one saw you coming. Bigla na lang paglingon namin, naunahan mo na silang dalawa.
No, I was lighter than them. They were carrying, I think, the maximum ballast of 60. So I just took advantage of the draft and overtook them on the first turn.
Red, allow me to take you back to a couple of months ago where you had a memorable race but not in the best kind. You had to leave your car, you had to ride an ambulance out of the track. But you came into this weekend, bounced back strong. Yesterday in race 7, you stood on top of that podium and now a 3rd place finish. How did that turnaround happen?
I think it's balance of nature. I had 2 bad weekends. I was supposed to finish first on the last race of the first leg and first again on the second leg last race. But we had a racing incident with Brian ko. And siguro parang today is my week. I got lucky yesterday. I took full advantage of the light car that I was driving.
You say it's luck, sir, but we call it skill and talent. And congratulations. I know you want to get prepared for one last race. Good luck on later. And we'll see you back on the track in just a bit.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Sir Red. All right, James and Gabby will get some more racers. All right, now we've spoken to our super sporting class racers, right? Now we have our sporting class racers here. Two young guns who really have proven their talent here. First, let me talk to Royce. Royce, again, another first place finish. Provisional, of course, but if this becomes official, then you widen your gap in terms of championship points.
It feels good that I finished first, but I'm really hoping for another podium finish later on.
How tough is it really? I mean, we keep on saying that, of course, you start 6th in our reverse grid and you carry extra weight, but how tough is it when you are doing that?
Well, with the weights, it's not easy, knowing that there are drivers really fast behind you, especially this guy. He's really fast. All I did was look in front and just keep on going.
All right, Royce, good luck with later's race. Russell, an inspired race we saw from you. And earlier in the promotional class, you saw your 3 kuyas from Toyota Team Cebu as well. They collected the podium places. Was that something maybe that kind of made you tell yourself, okay, I gotta do that too?
Definitely. I was really proud of my teammates for getting that 1, 2, 3 in the race 1 for this round, and it really pushed me to be faster in this race, keep my head down, help me focus more, and yeah, I'm lucky I got that result, so yeah.
Well, of course, that helps you move up the championship points, the standings. One last race left in the entire year of the Vios Cup. How do you plan? What's maybe the strategy that comes into mind? Or is it just win as much as I can?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best, especially for the last race, considering that it's double points. So I'm gonna do my best, keep my head down, and yeah, let's see what I get later.
All right, one last question before I let you go. Was there any extra preparation mentally, physically, in a car or out of a car, knowing that this weekend, or at least races 8 and 9, had double points?
Yeah, definitely. Coming into this round, a month prior, I exercised, I watched my onboard videos to study where else I can improve coming into this round. So there's really a lot of preparation, considering that the Vios Cup is a super tight competition.
Well, we know you're gonna get far in this sport, so we'll watch you again later on. Russell, thank you so much and congratulations on that 2nd place finish. We'll throw it back now again to Gabby and James.
Wow, 2nd place finish for another Toyota Team Cebu. So we've got how many? 3 in the
4.
first race.
Yeah.
That's 4 podiums now. It's pretty awesome stuff. Let's check out the slow-mo and see what's happening. What happened in the last race? Let's check it out. Sporting and super sporting class. Jared Loy leads the pack there. That's where Brian Cole was ahead of Inigo Anton. That was before Red Diwa passed Inigo for that podium spot. This is the beginning part of the race.
They're still all bunched up together. You can see the difference wherein the super sporting and the sporting class are quite far apart.
Yeah, they obviously the difference in experience and perhaps even in skill. But then again, you do see like people like Russell who are in the sporting class, but beat quite a few people who are in the super sporting class.
Yes, definitely.
And that's a Toyota Team Cebu driver as well. So this is the battle between, Inigo Anton trying to catch on Brian Cole, but then eventually getting eaten up by Red Diwa. Red being, quite a sportsman, explaining to Judd about the weight. He said they were both carrying heavier weight than I, and he took advantage of that. That's a very smart and very methodical driver that looks where he's strong and says, okay, well, these two guys have 16 kilos of extra weight in this car, so I'm going to try and take them into turn 1, and he did. He made it stick. But then, the hunter becomes the hunted at the next race, doesn't it? Because now it'll be Inigo Anton shedding that ballast, and it'll be people like Brian Ko, Red Diwa, and Jared Loy who will be wearing that extra ballast. So it all evens out in the wash, so to speak. And I've got high hopes for this battle between Inigo and John. because I really do think that they're in a good spot. I know that Inigo's going to have to struggle a little bit because he's in 4th place, which means he starts in, is that 2nd?
Yeah.
Okay,
he
2nd
starts
place.
Sorry, 3rd.
3rd. It's so much to compute here.
Yeah, so
we need an app.
Yep, definitely.
An app that does all of this, you know, weights, ballast, that, you know, reverse grid, all of it.
Oh yes, the perfect calculator. Though there were quite a bit of like overtaking over there. You know, I'm just gonna keep on calling it Team Jordan because I just love calling it Team Jordan. He did a fantastic overtake at Akasha. Then there were a few others as well. So it's been an exciting race. What's fascinating is when you talk to the drivers, there's so much like, oh, this is my advantage, this is my disadvantage. Para siyang K-drama eh, maraming ups and downs eh, which we will see at race 5. But before this, let's see some commercials.
We would like to thank our sponsors. Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup 2022 is brought to you in cooperation with Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Petron XCS, fuel that knows you. Together with our other sponsors, Brembo, Denso, 3M, AVT, Rota, OMP, Tuason Racing, My Toyota Wallet, Kinto One.
At the heart of Toyota Gazoo Racing is the drive to push the limits for better. The passion to create exhilarating driving experiences for every car and every driver. With the latest addition to the GR lineup, we're putting the thrill of performance cars to the country's best-selling midsize SUV by bringing the racing experience right at your fingertips. Introducing the new Toyota Fortuner GRS, engineered to drive you towards a new peak of success while looking bolder and sportier than ever before. Bear the mark of a powerful leader with the iconic GR emblem. Underneath the striking exterior is a strong engine with race-like suspension to make sure you dominate every race in life. Cruise confidently with advanced driving functions while sitting comfortably in an elegantly designed interior. With great performance, comes even greater safety features. Easily keep an eye on all areas around your car. With a blind spot monitor, the rear cross traffic alert keeps watch while you safely back away from parking spaces. The downhill assist control manages your speed while descending. The Fortuner GRS also comes with Toyota Safety Sense technology for added driving assistance and security. Ensure every trip is an exhilarating drive and your every move a winning one. Harness the power to lead the race with the new Toyota Fortuner GRS.